Caustic. That was a problem here on Stormpoint. I believe Caustic was the first legend that was banned throughout those scrims. And you know what, Gmo? I don't really put all my books on scrim bucks, but it's important to highlight what to expect, especially since we get to see the welcoming look of Olympus for the bottom half of this series.
Yep, we will see that come in at the tail end of our series here. Here's a look at the zone and the teams, their compositions we're playing here with. We start pretty tight in terms of compositions. We've only got 3, actually. Most of the teams are sitting on Caustic, Newcastle, and Valkyrie. Just a couple going for Alta in place of the Valkyrie as their recon character. And then, of course, it's Gen G. They're playing Bangalore, Crypto, and Mad Maggie. If you see those characters on the map, you know it's Gen G coming for your KP.
It's literally always the same comp from Gen G. It's crazy how they get to make this work, but it actually plays into their game plan here after looking at where that zone's pulling all the way down to the south. Fire Strays landing in their POI closer to Coastal Campus, already looking onto the north side. That Liquid Alienware has gone ahead on that quick rotate out of barometer. Why? Because they have that survey beacon, ring console down in the middle. Fire Strays are already trying to pressure out the teams that are already rotating here onto the south side of this map. And you know, Genome, looking at Coastal Camp, there's a lot of areas to coexist, but there's a lot of openings and broken buildings that you have to be careful of if you're playing off that low ground.
Yeah, and even depending on how far down it pulls, and this one, from what I can see, isn't pulling as far as it can in Coastal Camp, because if that beach starts to come into play, it gets very chaotic. Teams have to move out of the buildings. There's, you know, you're literally looking down at the people directly below you, but what we're seeing now is just teams jockeying for initial positions, and 5 Fears, they try to get in early, but they're, what, maybe 4th, 5th to this POI, and as a result, they're caught off guard and they lose Gop Gaps.
Try to get there early and then instead rolling out on the Trident instead. So now they're forced to back away as a duo, and this is where we like to see non-stop action already coming off the rip. And then you have to consider, when you have the Caustic and you find that amp with the extra armor, you get already red very early on in the game. It comes in clutch here as you get to play around these Evo shields, and Men of Culture still, as a duo,
game sound comes
on
yaar,
teams
that
that may
thought you guys
have to
will
fight. I
like,
believe it's just Rock, though, that's over by Pylon. They're looking at the squad, but have to be careful at the teams that will be rotating through Jurassic over to their backs, because that could
यार
be
Falcon ये Imperial Hell का controller ban कर दिया था ना.
So 5 Fears, they were the team obviously trying to get the respawn. They've gone to Barometer to do that. They found themselves in the vicinity of Falcons, but Falcons seem to be choosing priority through zone over some KP right now. Surely they would have
दूसरे कंट्रोल वाले बैंड ने के
years
उनका वही
were
यूज
around
करेगा
there.
कि सिमिलर है बट उसमें
I can't
मैक्रोस
imagine that
नहीं है.
they've chosen otherwise, but anyway, there's a care package here, so that's a great pickup for Falcons early in the game. What are they going to get from it? Hal goes for the brick first.
तो Imperial भी Voxing keyboard पे आ गया क्या?
Valkyrie purple perk that allows you to scan everybody as you are in your sky with dive. Incredibly important, so they're prioritizing that over some of the Newcastle and Caustic perks, which are good. But on this rotation, not necessarily what you need.
Comes in clutch if you want to opt for that mobility as well. And as you take a look at ultimate, Waltzy's already slammed down with the Newcastle wall. They found their home for now. They see the action happening right in front of them, but they can't get involved just yet because they could get 3P when you have Team Liquid right behind Rock. And then look who's on top of the high ground over in the sniper tower. It is Shopify Rebellion, a team that also needs to perform in this lobby.
5 finger में से 2 बैंड है, सिर्फ 4 उंगली से खेल तो भी वो टॉप रैक कर लेगा.
Time tower can be a good spot. You just gotta hope that you don't get late into the game where people, they start worrying about that position above them, and they are going to expend all of their grenades on you. Early in the game, people are probably going to hold on to those, so it's not quite as bad.
Pause game है.
Okay, we've got a little game.
Nah, he's just on an older controller.
Of the day, yeah.
I mean, it does make sense though. Like there was some things in his controller that he could not turn off, so they had to. वो देखो हम लोग जैसे start में बैठे हैं guys, सबसे बीच में right side पे.
Coming from the north side. We actually didn't get to talk about that on the draft, but they managed to pull off an alliance and get both Trident and Northpad to themselves. So a double POI essentially on Stormpoint is rare.
And why don't we dissect that actually, because there's been a lot of changes going into Apex Legends as a game, when you talk about the Tridents and you talk about the changes into Olympus as a map as a whole, right? But then Tridents in general has been a very interesting topic. From my experience playing ranked and watching scrims, the changes of the Trident with the mobility and then the fact that you get to destroy them creates certain plays for teams that may have to be delayed on the rotate. Because let's say you do destroy a Trident, right? It goes back to its spawn points, which could benefit the teams like, I mean, 5 Fears who have to slow rotate. I mean, imagine if there's going to be a Trident that spawns right in front of them that was already taken by, let's say, Falcons, who had already found their rotate.
Yeah, that could be a boon late in the game, absolutely. I guess one of the other things that you can note about Tridents is that they, we're talking about them being destructible now. They used to be indestructible cover. Something that you basically just don't get in Apex. Certainly not one that you move around. That's the only way to have that. And in a zone like Coastal Camp, where you're going down towards the beach, that was actually one of the very important tools the teams had to start setting up there. You're not just using, say, Castle Wall. You Castle Wall, you park a Trident in front of it, try and save some HP while you've got the Trident out there in front of you. That's no longer the case. If you're getting into a late game scenario, a couple of teams are just going to focus that down. And it'll be gone before long. So I guess it's one of the big reasons why the devs made that change. Because they, it's not meant to be better than a Newcastle wall and, sort of stopping incoming fire, but it was.
Thumbnail देखो इतना बड़ा बनवाया मैंने. You were meant to be better than what you were doing yesterday, and in this term, when we were taking a look at Fnatic, they really ramped up throughout the day, right? Because when we saw them in groups A versus B, fell a little short here, but then being able to find that momentum at the very end, and then clutching it out when they were playing in B versus D, where they were able to obtain a lot more points, set them up at least for top 15. I believe they're settled in 14th overall. But Genome, you and I were right here when we got to see Fnatic clutch out that win at the very end. The fans of Fnatic were an umbrella over our heads, cheering, slamming on the arena here, standing up, giving them that energy. And right before we got started for today, you got to hear their thoughts, the nerves. They know what to expect this time around. They fell short of their expectations just last year, but now they know what to expect in a different form of Apex compared that to last year going into this game. And everybody's ready, Fnatic's ready, the fans are ready, as I'm being told we are getting started now here in the game.
All right,
are you 16? Yeah,
as
technically,
we were mentioning,
like
Shopify up
a lot
on
of
the sniper tower.
I am 16.
How much ammo have they got? There's a little bit there for Koifel.
So everybody has completed 16 years
but as you can see, no amp in the backpack right now, so that's a little tough.
So technically we are all 16,
in this sort of position, you
because
would love to have
years.
an overflow, an infinite ammo, something that just saves you resources, can be incredibly helpful when you're in a spot like this where you kind of can't leave. If you leave, you would have to, I'd give you like a 95% chance to get picked.
Yeah, that's why Falcons, when they got the scan, they're not going to deviate their attention to the duo that's right behind them. They're going to try to pry a zone as they have to, especially off of the Trident, as we get to see Hot Dog Mafia, a team that wants to continue on from the performance of yesterday. They're looking at VP on the other side, another team knocking the Caustic. You could see that they have the amp with the over armor here, the Caustic that has the red Evil Shield on the other side of those rocks. But Hot Dog Mafia having to be careful as they've already set up the Newcastle wall, and it's a Caustic 1v1 from each side around this rock. Nice play.
Coming from behind, they can get in the nades. They don't get zapped from behind. What a play from Albraleli.
This is so smart from Albraleli being able to get on the high ground. And guess what? VP can't do this. They only have a Valkyrie, Newcastle, and Caustic. They do not have an Alter to take control over this high ground uninterrupted.
Hoping to get a kidnap there. Really taking their time. Slayer gambles on taking that. Maybe he just walked backwards and didn't realize the port was behind him. Either way, have Hot Dog Mafia missed their timing?
I mean, they don't look behind them with their heads knocked off their shoulders. Albraleli with the biggest plays is the big MVP to trying to take out VP, but now the third party's here. You could see the nades hurtle in their direction, and it is up to Fire Strange to pick apart what is left of Albraleli and his team with Hot Dogs.
Okay, so the hesitation, it doesn't cost them the fight win against VP, but it may cost them their lives in just waiting that extra 10-15 seconds here as Fire Strays move in to push them out. By the looks of it, they've taken the Void Nexus back towards Echo HQ, so I think Hot Dog Mafia should be able to get at least 2 of them safe. just got another quick pause here. Guys, sorry about that. Hot Dog Mafia will tell you two of them got out, the Caustic and the Newcastle are there, but it looks like Albraleli on the altar got full kill.
9:45 को तो मैं जागी हूँ क्योंकि कल मेरे IGBC में मैसेज किया था 9:45 वॉच पार्टी मैच है भाई कल भी मैं वॉच पार्टी करने वाली थी मेरे को पता था 9:30 को मैच है ठीक है किस हेल वेरी रियलिस्टिक अच्छा किस मी हेल ओहो हो इवन मोर रियलिस्टिक मैंने सोचा था 9:30 को वॉच पार्टी करूंगी मस्त शाम को फोन चेक करी तब पता चला कि 9:30 AM को वॉच पार्टी थी मैं तो 9:30 PM की वॉच पार्टी के लिए रेडी बैठी थी शाम को चलो आज शाम को वॉच पार्टी होगी उसके बाद मैंने फोन देखा और सुबह 9:30 AM से चल रहे थे मैचेस ऑलरेडी आई मिस द एंटायर थिंग तो इसलिए आज के लिए मैं रेडी थी पहले से
But as we get set up here, everybody, thank you so much for your patience. Just looking to see how everybody's going to try to rejoin together here in the game.
Wow, yeah. I am very talented.
Okay, so we are going to have a match restart here. We will be turning back the clock.
IGBC क्या है? Instagram broadcast. But मेरा broadcast like मेरा वो broadcast तो मैंने बंद कर दिया अभी मेरा Insta पे से subscriber वाला group है. मैंने विदाउट स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक AM और सुबह दोनों लिखा था कल हाँ भाई इसने मेरे को फिर ऑल कैप्स में वो सब्सक्राइबर ग्रुप में लिखा है कल सुबह 9:30 AM इन द मॉर्निंग मैच है
momentum is getting started into these games and hopefully keeping the mentality of hey I'm fragging out we're able to go for these quick resets we're doing really good job at being able to coordinate when we want to try to take these fights especially with these different compositions whether it be the teams rocking those 5 altars or the teams that want to rely on the Valkyrie and trying to take that ultimate really early on and secure a place in that final zone. And in a zone like that, that's why it's so important to find that place early on, especially when you can expect to see so many Newcastles. The trade here, though, is the teams that have opted to also run the crypto, which isn't a lot in comparison to what we've seen, obviously, with the, rather the Caustic, the Newcastle, Valkyrie. This would mean that the few teams that were running the crypto will be able to put a dent to those Newcastle teams in an EMP that will try to destroy that shield in terms of the electricity and enable other Caustics to throw that Nox grenade gas.
उनकी टीम वाले ने आके मेरे सामने जो बंदा बैठा था उसको इतने सारे बच्चों को ऐसे वो दिए थे कार्ड्स तो मैं उसके बाजू में देते मैं घूर ही रही थी क्योंकि मुझे भी एक चाहिए था लेकिन मैं ऐसे मांग तो नहीं सकती तो मैं उसको घूर रही थी फिर उसने इवेंचुअली मुझे एक दे दिया yeah thanks
in their first
I stared at him till he handed it over.
Checking out some of the highlights.
What do you mean, bro? You have so many. So he had given it to him to give it out to like the fans, his fans and stuff. But the card was so cute, like even I wanted one.
You know, there was no one else in the lobby that looked anywhere near as good as Falcons, and frankly, Vicky, that's why I keep predicting them because it really does feel like they are on another level right now compared to even the other 39 best teams in the world.
Dude, like, what did Hal say to Lace earlier? It was like playing ranked.
I mean, and you just know he's just putting that in.
मालिक आपको तो कल एसिडल के वीडियो में देखा था भाई मैंने मेरा क्लिप शूट करके आदि को भेजा बोला आदि तू एडिट कर लेकिन एडिट करके तूने अगर वापस मुझे भेजा ना मैं तुझे ब्लॉक कर दूंगी
feeling the real pressure feeling the energy of the crowd the nerves that is inevitable no matter how long
do not send this back to me do not tag me do not मैं तेरे को सीधा ब्लॉक मार दूंगी मेरे को जानना ही नहीं है रील के साथ क्या हो रहा है मैं देखूंगी नहीं मुझे जानना ही नहीं है
Falcons that have rejoined together to see the cohesiveness of this team now in this iteration has obviously shown out strong in that first game.
Exactly.
मैंने इसे रील शूट करके भेजे मैंने एडिट के बाद क्या बना उससे वो भी नहीं देखा बोला मेरे को भेजना है
I mean, Waltzy has found his niche in this team. He was not a crypto.
Good morning, Raghav. Good morning. Good morning. अंकिता कह रहे hair cut बाल का है भाई अभी hair cut करूँ दो तो होने तो पहले
and he found his voice. You know, he was saying how
morning
that came online, he really felt like he could contribute more to the team. Someone who's been in IGL before, someone who has, you know, valuable information to
Wait,
feed
is
the
he
rest
mouse
of the
and
team.
keyboard?
Even though you can just put him on the sticks and let him
Is he
frag
mouse
out,
and
but
keyboard?
you know,
Did he?
to make a cohesive
You said
team,
he's
you
on an
need
older controller,
selfless
right? Why is he
players.
mouse and?
And when I think
I don't
about
see the
those
controller. Where
team
is it?
players in Apex, you know, there really are a couple who come to mind. If you
I don't see
listen
the
to
controller.
their comms,
Akhil,
Waltzy's the
I don't
first
see it.
one every time. Do you need this attachment? Here, have a bat. Hal, I got some light ammo for you. You know, like he is.
I know him. He reads my chat on Twitch, bro. So he knows you.
If Hal needed it, and he's just.
He reads your chats on Twitch. He knows you.
And
good morning, Ankkita. Hello, Jane. Good morning. Good morning. Bye.
It's hard to take that step back. It's hard to put the ego in your pocket and
भाई
say,
माफिया
I'm
का
here
तो मैं
to
एकदम
enable
शॉक की हो
my
गई देख के
teammates.
एकदम ग्रुप में
And,
तो
you know, Waltzy will
ग्रुप चैट
still
में
be
तो
showing
एकदम
up on
हो
the
ही
kill
गया
leaderboards,
मतलब
and he will
सबके
still be showing
होश ही
up on
उड़
the
गए
damage leaderboards.
माफिया का वो पार्ट
But
देख
he
के
also performs these other
I
just
never
incredibly
expected
important
to see
functions for his
Mafia's upper
team.
body
Do you know
in
how
the big
difficult that is,
2026.
to tell Apex players that are at the highest caliber to put that ego aside?
Oh.
I mean, it's literally so difficult because then, you have other IGLs, if they're together on
He
one
didn't
team, you have
even
usually maybe a
shave
co-IGL that
his
comes
face.
in
He's
and
like,
they
I
question
am
certain decisions.
simply
In that split second of
a hairy
hesitation,
woman.
everything could change. Your entire foundation
Basically,
as a
yesterday,
squad could fall
yeah,
apart.
so what
Waltzy
happened
being
is
able to be
the
slotted in, I
streamer
see him
you
as the
love is
professional
kinda
judo.
stupid.
Literally, you could have him do whatever you want, but it's the flexibility.
Yeah.
My
And
apologies
I'm sure you agree with me, Genome, but when we
for
started
being
introducing
stupid.
Legend Bands,
I
now
have
we've
no other
introduced
reason
even
that
extra
I wasn't
maps
here
into
yesterday.
the competitive
Yes.
format
It's
of
because I
Apex
thought the
Legends
watch
here
party
at
was at
ALGS.
9:30 p.m.
This
not
makes it
PM.
harder on the players to now have to readapt. We didn't
ये
have
लाइन में
Legend
सब
Bands before.
chats
You
पे
could
जा
stick
रही
up
थी
to the
मेरी
same
chat
composition
आधी की
all
skip
game
हुआ है.
through.
So what
Every single
happened
match
is
point game, you could go all
that I don't
12
have the
games
answer
if
to
you
your
wanted
question.
to, running
Hold
the
on,
same
let me
comp.
open
That
the
doesn't exist anymore here. In the Apex Legends Global Series, now we have Legend Bands. Now we're swapping different maps,
Page.
and you have to be incredibly flexible as a player on top of being mechanically gifted here.
Guys,
Oh, so much, and you know, more than
यार
ever,
मुझे भी
we've
इन लोग
got
वापस
you know,
जापान भेज सकते थे.
these
इस बार
teams
मेरे
where
पास पैसे नहीं है
people had
spend
to take
करने,
over
लेकिन
the
मैं
IGLing role, and you know, obviously, yeah, you've got a
चुपचाप
couple shoved
मतलब
into
venue
Falcons
से
here. We've got
होटल
Legacy,
से
who's
venue
playing
तो कर ही सकते
his
हैं.
first LAN as an IGL in this format. Of
इतना तो
course,
कर ही
his first LAN as an
सकते हैं.
IGL was EWC, the mid-season playoffs. But you know, we're back to sort of the classic ALGS LAN format, and they have been doing better than
Hey, mother.
ever, Vicky. These guys have just really clicked right now. We're seeing Sharky, who is just one of the players who makes the least mistakes in all of Apex, right? And like, where does that come from? Of course, it's playing under zero to start with, the kind of IGL that demands perfection from you. And I think that helped mold Sharky into the player he is. And I've been really getting deep on his POV when I've been watching scrims and whatnot in the last couple of months. And I can tell you, man, he is just a joy to watch, and it's just crazy how, like, sometimes you kind of think he's the AI. Right? Like, he doesn't make mistakes.
I like
he
that.
He just never takes a step wrong. Every time he moves, you're just
हाँ,
like, oh
उसको
my
ऐसा
god,
कुछ
yeah, I
दे
see
देना
why
है
you're doing
एक
it. It's genius, but like,
वो
how did you
टेक्नो को
even
पूछ लो.
make that play?
I mean, it's always so fun to watch. That's why, man, this esport is amazing. Just to watch it at that mechanical
nice.
level.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
by the way, in
you
case
can't
you
make
guys don't
mistakes
know
if you're
the
frame
thing से,
perfect every time is what I always say here. And the best way to display that, if we get started now,
And,
Genome, it's going to be
yeah.
carrying that on with the torch and ready to blaze the rest of the
they've been
competition.
staying here.
Another team that I also was really
So
impressed
we've
with
been chilling.
yesterday, when you talk about these players that feel that pressure, Dog Mafia.
No, for that
There's
is
a team that really
nice.
showed up yesterday, and they've been able to take a lot from what they've learned in scrims and now
Championship
applied it to
points
where it
ranking.
really matters on the big stage. Looks like as we get settled in, everybody, we get a beautiful flyby of Storm Point. The crowd excited, sitting on the edge of their seat because we can't wait any longer. Everybody, this is groups B versus C, our last bit of group stage before we push our teams into where they belong in the winner's bracket or the loser's bracket.
You're not out of the tournament, but you might be out of contention. As we said, you know, getting that top 20 versus bottom 20, you're already,
We are
you know,
making
guaranteed a
him
bottom
watch
10 seed
Attack
at the
on
very
Titan.
best in terms of match point
We're
finals.
making
So
you watch Attack on Titan.
don't kid yourself into thinking that this is, you know, a set of games without consequence. The players know what is on the line here, and we will be once again getting them going
PC पे, phone पे
at the start of game one. The course, means we're going to get an entirely new zone. Unlikely to be going towards Coastal Camp again.
Wait, so we're restarting the whole thing?
Decided to go for Cascade Falls.
We restarted the whole
when Storm
thing.
Point came out, Vicky,
was
this was the premier
I feel
POI.
like they should tell us because
Cascade Falls. People, I remember it was like Nocturnal back then.
So
that was his POI. They'd always pick it because they wanted that priority to anywhere
what happened
around the map. These days, it goes a lot lower in the draft.
A dog ate
still
the
not
cable
a bad pick. I mean, for Fnatic, it
of
was
the car used by
respectable, but yeah, certainly not up there with Lightning Rod, with Mill, something like that.
And so
it's crazy to talk about just the extension and changes that we've seen throughout the course of all the maps in Apex Legends. You talk about Storm Point, you mentioned Olympus already beforehand.
Wild guess
now seeing Unlimited in down beast, they're going to be able to loot up before moving on from their POI and seeing where the zone is going to be pulling next. Although nothing's really changed in terms of the compositions, right? We still have the 5 altars, we still have the 19 Caustic, so Caustic will be the first legend banned within our series.
Yep, so I think, I do believe once you have that sort of first game and then the restart, I'm pretty sure the players are not allowed to change
keep STL POV until the team is alive.
Their picks after that. There was, of course, the interesting
but they will
situation,
show our POV if we are in a fight, though.
I believe Zero accidentally
they will show us if we're in a fight.
Lifeline and then was forced to stay on that for the
we'll miss literally
restart.
every other fight if we only watch our team, because if our team isn't in a fight in like the first 5 minutes, we will literally just be there.
Obviously Hot Dog Mafia on the altar
watching
again,
them loot for 5 minutes.
Obviously the rotations have changed.
I want to enjoy the whole match.
We are going towards
I support our team, but
a little bit more in the middle.
They're going to be good fights, good matches. We should enjoy it, right? We should watch it.
All these teams have gone on their rotation. It's a little bit of that difference maker for the teams that were forced to travel all the way down south without getting caught out, especially the teams that didn't have the Valkyrie on their team. By the way, looked like Hot Dog Mafia earlier on in a bit of trouble. It looked like they lost out on their Caustic, so now it's the Alter Newcastle that are left here. They're forced to back away. Skittle, unfortunately, won't be able to join them, but they are going to be going for that respawn, thankfully, and the backup insurance policy that they needed with the Alter Portal Nexus.
Interesting that they've managed to lose someone that early on. Who's got the point? Where's the... wait, sorry, no, he's jumped off a map somewhere? He has to have, right?
Yeah, because I don't see a point.
There's no kill points.
Oh, did I get muted? हाँ तो पिछले game भी हमारा rotation यहीं पर से था, guys. But at that time there weren't these many people here. But in this game, everyone is there.
But this was like dropship days, right?
In the spot that we rotate from.
And try and steal the Triton over near like Lightning Rod and stuff, and then they jump off the map to get respawned on the other side. Little tricky stuff like that, but you can't do that with the new POI draft and getting dropped
upper
directly
bracket
into
top
your
10 will
own
directly
POI.
qualify to finals.
Yeah,
so upper bracket, lower bracket to kar lena.
We'll be fascinated to go back and check that one out on the replays. We'll update you with the with that a little later. Anyway, team's getting set up in Ceto now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, because they will show all of the good stuff. So I'm not worried about
doesn't look
it.
like he gets on the right side of that trade.
Match,
we were talking about this yesterday too, Gino, with the alternators to play in the metal. We're seeing a lot of the R9, G7, bow checks, etc. here. Speedy Down going to be able to hide on top of this high ground. To camp out the box over to their side, to lay that for the survey beacon from anybody else around them. To call in the Moby, it looks like, before Rock moves up.
Oh, TSM getting taken out at the same time. Cupid as well. Okay. Rock holding guard here in their own POI. They start off well. Playing the high ground, grabbing a couple of KPs. This is great stuff from Source. Especially for a team who's, certainly not guaranteed to make it into winner's bracket right now. High hopes for Rock coming into this, but they're sitting at 67 points. We are expecting the cutoff to be somewhere between 90 and 95 points to make it into that top 20. Rock still have, what, 30 points-ish to go to get there. So
Fnatic
in an average series, they've done well enough up until now.
Well, this is a great start for them. They have a good amount of KP to their name. They have the high ground over by Ceto. They're bunkered down with the Newcastles. We take a look at Hot Dog Mafia, who were able to get that reset. By the way, Skills is back in the game. And a beautiful scan. 33 enemies within the vicinity.
Okay, so apparently, got the comms through from the observers. Skittle Cakes was trying to rotate and got timed out with the out-of-bounds timer. And that was why they required the early respawn. Not something you expect to happen on stage at Sapporo, but here we are.
Alright, don't worry, Skills, we didn't see that. It's okay, it never really happens here. You know, even it happens to the pros sometimes for the guys watching from home.
My apologies for bringing that up.
Oh man, and now going on to the next though. You talk about some Trident shenanigans, by the way.
Flying right now?
We are flying to the skies off this Trident. That was... Okay, I feel like I saw that earlier in scrims. I don't think it was Gen G that I saw it, but it was interesting to be able to hug the wall right there, because sometimes you could get there on a survey beacon that sometimes is in that spot, and then instead of having to waste time, get off the Trident, you just zoom off the side of the wall.
I didn't know they had planes. We have new vehicles here in Apex.
Oh, it's like Skyrim mountain climbing. The go climbing off the side here. As FaZe now move up, Shopify Rebellion looking on at the evac tower that was called right in front of them. In the mouth of the bunker doors. Shopify being another one of those teams, you know, you were talking about Rock before, but Shopify are literally on the cusp at the moment. They need to get a lot more points. They're at 65 points, sitting in 19th place overall, right on top of Oblivion.
So doable for Shopify.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a team that can pop off. They can have an 80-point series. They can have a 100-point series, and I would not be surprised. But not if they continue
हमारे
in the form that we
rotation
saw
पे ही पूरा
yesterday.
circle
Okay,
आ
here's
गया
an
इस बार
update
और
on
अगला
that
circle
circle.
भी.
Pulls a
That
little bit
is
south.
crazy.
Not
5
really much
fears.
to look at here.
Reignite.
It was never going to pull towards the north, towards checkpoint.
देखो हमारा match
Has to
चल
stay
रहा है.
nestled within a couple of
हाँ,
those
तुम भी हो.
surrounding
Guys,
mountain
hi
areas.
बोलो.
It's really going to be
अभी
the
दिख नहीं
next
रहे हो.
ring
हाथ क्या
that
दिखा
sort
रहे
of
हो?
throws
हाथ
teams
क्या
one
दिखा
way
रहे
or the other. Does it go down towards Jurassic, where, say, Fire Strays are sitting? Or does it
यार,
shift
अब
over
दो
to where,
कुछ
say,
नहीं बोलूंगी.
S8UL are near the gravity cannon? Probably more likely to go south, I would say.
Yeah, because we've seen zones like
Why
this.
it looks
sometimes
like
even pull
Valo.
towards, like more of the water too, where a lot of these teams
Vishesh.
like to coexist on underneath the bridge part. But it is chaos because there are so many open line of sights there to play off of. While Hot Dog Mafia wait on the cusp of that choke, still full blues by the way. While teams like Shopify are already going ahead on their rotate, they're actually opting to rotate right back over to the north side of Cascade Falls, where there's a beacon. So they want to play objective. They know they're forced to play on the edge of zone at the moment. So they want to get all the information that they could get, even if they could even find out where that next zone is going to be pulling. If they haven't scanned it already, they could put themselves in that place over to that south side already and find out where all the other squads on the south side have been finding their own home.
Yeah, playing a bit of ring around the rosy at the moment. Shopify, they started off in launch
मैं भी अपनी
pads, have come all the way back up to Cascade Falls. As you said, just, trying to get some info on the teams around them as they hit the survey beacon. Reignite's probably the first team that popped up on their minimap as they hit that. Now
Excuse
are
me,
in
कुत्ता
danger
किसको बोला?
of
शागनी
getting
क्या?
hit by the kids,
शागनी
as
क्या है रूम
we
में?
tend to call
Wold
Zainu and
भी है, sorry.
Koifel. Don't know how much longer
Wold
we're
है ये.
allowed to do that. Like, at what age are we like
I
not
didn't know
allowed
he
to
was
call
behind
them
me. I
the
just saw
kids
in the
anymore?
face.
I feel like they're slowly phasing out of it, Gino, because we got
This little
Panic,
loaf
right?
of
Like
bread is
Panic is
gold,
literally the
guys.
new blood out here. Although I mean, maybe
That's
not
true.
in this lobby
And
anymore because TSM did go out at 20th,
Look,
but
Cersei and Metro at 16.
yeah. Now you see Liquid Alienware.
My
Talk about a team
apologies.
that has to perform. A lackluster day #1. This is how they start things off. Falcons also stealing some of that KP. Serial's going to be able to try to get the
By
reset with the
Newcastle
Newcastle. They
G.
got the purple knockdown shield here. They find the Valkyrie at the same time, and they bunker down with this Newcastle wall on top of the traps, but that's 2 out.
Bro,
Ian is
this
the only
guy's gonna
one
pull
left
off a
here if he
clutch
can get this
just with
reset.
this
But
duel.
the altar allows him to push in. It's the pressure of the Cossack barrels that they do not want to feel in case a third party comes in.
An errant spray there from Fafa Fifth, though, misses with the R99, and this may allow Zerale to get the reset.
वो भी गए भाई, पूरी
Incredible.
team रेस हो
Meanwhile,
गई. एक
Shopify,
पॉस्टिक में.
obviously they went for their Valk rotate in after hitting
up
that,
करो
and it is
दोस्तों.
not working out. See you, Zainu. See you,
भाई ऐसा आपको हर
Koifel.
जगह से
Zap.
पड़ रही है, आप कहीं
He's
से
lost
बच
the
नहीं
kids.
सकते हो. I hope you know that.
Oh no, he's fired from babysitting duties. He can't do this. But I mean, the fact that you saw a Nox grenade, a thermite, the altar portal, everybody was looking at them, even though their backs were against that corner. And that's what I mean. You're in the line of sight of so many other teams. Real order, meet them back in the lobby. 16 squads left. I like this position from Rock. We saw them get a lot of pressure, some KP right here on the high ground. And they know that floating is playing right underneath them. Once they get that information that it's a duo or maybe even a solo at this point with floating being right there at their feet, they can try to jump in here without having to give up too much of high ground.
Oh, my bad, yaar, guys. My bad.
Hasta la vista. Yep, that's what they knew it. They knew it. They were able to find the other side of the duo before finding that one solo that was left of floating. Men of Culture now get eliminated.
Okay, we've got GG coming up against Unlimit here. They move the car into position. Bang ult is out from Dexter. You know, if you are getting bang ulted in game one, it is Gen G on top of you. EMP coming out as well. Ziki, probably more assist than anyone else, but maybe Hackers coming into this part of Year 5. He is an absolute monster on the crypto, has been dialing in that gameplay for the longest time, but it looks like Unlimit, a very aggressive team themselves, however, they are playing with the more defensive composition. And now S8UL pulled up as well.
S8UL, who had popped off in the series that you and I were covering, getting 47 points in total, have secured themselves in 9th place in the overall standings amongst all the other teams. Want to get involved in that fight. One of the teams also with the trident would open up the door. Here's Jesco. Tries to push in. The Valkyrie has her wings clipped, and now they take some free real estate in this economy.
Are you kidding? Do you see how coordinated that was? You know, you're always worried about taking the one clip from the other side of the door when you melee it, right? So they buffer with the Newcastle mobile shield. So, like, as he is drawing back from the melee, he is safe. That's incredible. I don't know if I've actually ever seen that before. That is such a smart way to take a building.
And it's also smart to not take as much damage, too, knowing that there's other teams in the vicinity, right? They want to be able to try to take advantage. Get total at their feet. S8UL, they look locked in. They're able to wrap around trying to pick apart the team that are at their feet. They get two so far, but having to back away knowing that there's somebody else shooting at them from their backs.
Oh, that was a rough. That was a straight Dutch oven down there. I mean, Unlimit almost going out to literally
never
just
be
that
the meat,
great.
always
They
be
had
the bread.
shields, but of course the caustic ult is hitting you where it hurts. It is taking your health away. And really, it was just the pressure from Gen G and a couple of other teams in the area that meant S8 couldn't venture out too far and remove the scarce, 50 HP left on the members of Unlimit. So they survived by the skin of their teeth.
They're very thankful of Gen G. They're like, all right, we may have been put in the Dutch oven, but we don't walk away with any pink eye here. We're surviving as Fire Strange now. Pushing up, looking at the team over to the left side. Rock is still, by the way, getting the KB that they need. But I think it's even crazier if we can see the side-by-side on how this zone is pulling so far down south. Genome, you talked about this at the mouth of where Jurassic is. But the risk here, if you look at this fight specifically between FaZe and Fire Strange, this is a great fight because Unlimited are so focused on getting the rest.
इन लोग बीच में लाउड किए पता है खुद से जब इन लोग सेकंड टाइम मैप चालू किए
S8 Ziki, all up to him. This is an isolated fight right now. Rock are looking over from that main building. We saw them on Incito. And yeah, there we go. It's Deeds with the scout that actually gets the last kill. But hey, Gen G will take that. They get 2 out of 3 and they get to stay alive with the reset. No one pushing them from that main building now.
यहाँ पे था Jesco. उसको किसने मारा ये?
This is an isolated fight right now. Rock are looking over from that main building. We saw them on Incito. And yeah, there we go. It's Deeds with the scout.
He just bled out? What? Who killed him? I don't see who killed him.
Rock are looking over from that main building. We saw them on
अच्छा
Incito.
पीछे ROC वाला आया गंदा.
Could be an end game position
Shit,
to play for to win.
I mean, we became the meat.
But for now, it looks like they
वही बोलूँ ये बंदा तो मार नहीं रहे तो उसका कैरेक्टर कहाँ गया? मैं टॉप राइट देख ही नहीं रही थी and I'm not listening to the casting because I watch parties without earphones on.
Hugging their void nexus.
Shit.
At the bottom
what is our score?
This place. Okay.
यार
we're
हमने
gonna
कितने
listen in now with 0
यार लेकिन हम KP नहीं secure किए क्योंकि हम smart fights लिए थे. So ideally it was a good decision to fall back every time we fell back. But unfortunately, that meant that we did not secure the KP for all of the 15 knocks we did. But that's okay. One with the Jesco. हाँ पीछे दूसरे side से ना.
They have to walk in from on the queue. Look at the queue. Look at the queue west,
good
guys.
fight, but yeah. All the fights were pretty good and pretty smart. Like our times of joining the fight and every decision we made to leave the fight, all of it was like well planned. Good fights. All over good fights.
Yeah, begin.
No bad decisions. We just got sandwiched in the end.
I think you can. I think you can. I think you can. I think you can.
I think I can, bro. I'm pretty sure I can cost that.
नहीं सिद्धांत मेरे वोल्ट का वेट इतना नहीं है बेचारा 20 किलो है
I have Q. Close. Came in. Keep behind you guys. I have no wall.
I ulted him.
Can we back up? Bring you back. Back you back. I can't need light.
I used Costco, by the way.
Dropping light, Reese. I'm dropping light. I have 130.
5F Falcon.
Did the castle die or no? Did they die? That's right. I'm break Q. You can break Q to him.
Team Liquid सब एक साथ
About to break it. Okay. He nades?
और चौथी टीम भी जो कर रहा है
I have no wall. Hitting him. No one HP.
With Falcons on the other side, gatekeeping Liquid Alienware in their position right now. It's Hal with the Kraber. As soon as Zero left the team, they had a discussion. Who's going to pick up the Kraber now? Zero was the only one to touch that gun on Falcons, and now it's being used against him.
Yeah, no, none of those hip-fire shots are misfiring this time around, but it's about priority over to the zone as well as information. Liquid, they take to the skies as we take a look at Team Falcons. We saw them fighting from right down below, trying to gatekeep the other teams that are playing right on the outskirts of the water, but they have to move shortly because this ring is closing in the next 40. They have to start moving down to the south with the rest of the teams still fighting by the wall of Jurassic.
Liquid have made their move, hits the mobile shield there with the Kraber. Hal is no stranger to ripping a solid Valk ult late game. Sometimes it's for rotation, sometimes he'll do it solo just to give his team wall hacks and information. We'll have to see which of those they use it for soon, but right now, it looks like they can take out both Sorale and Virtus Pro.
One bullet in the Kraber. Make it count. 150. Follow up. Walty gets the next MVP. Hope that Kraber shot are able to take care of the. And now looking down at the team right in front of them, 6 squads left. This could be a bloodbath. This is a lot of KP opportunity for Falcons.
JG somehow managed to sneak into the zone. Liquid Alienware, they try and play for center position, but too much focus on them. They'll go down in 6. Falcons now on the bottom of the hill, but they can work their way up towards FaZe, towards AnkkitaC. Fnatic have come down from the south here, and I like their position, but as you can see, Libel Ace has only got a few bullets left in the chamber. Hopefully that gun shield generator can keep some teams at bay.
No way! No way! FaZe trying to jump on top of AnkkitaC. They get taken out. Now it's a green light. It's a third party. It's the 8th the fourth party, and now it is Falcons against Fnatic after fully capitalizing off of what we just saw FaZe do.
GG though, they're lying in wait. They're going to come and clean up this fight so easily.
This is just a free ball here for Gen G.
गोली आ रही है उस पे लेकिन वो बोला मैं तो रिवाइव करूंगा.
They want Gen G to get involved so that way Fnatic
सामने से फुल स्प्रे चल रहे उस पे न्यू कैसे बोला मैं तो उठाऊंगा.
Kill down. It's up to Walty. Falcons get eliminated. They go down in third. 2 squads left. Can Fnatic get the reset? Gen G walk up for free and take game number 1.
चलो ठीक है हम जिससे फाइट ली वो जीते ठीक है. Good job.
Great stuff. A rotation.
ठीक है.
Gen G there to pick up the game 1 win. Cast your minds back to yesterday. They did the same thing, but Vicky, there is a marked difference in how Gen G look after this win to how they look after the first win yesterday.
Rohan, happy
like,
birthday.
Hey, this is us. Everything is gravy. We're going to be doing this all day, but it didn't go to plan. That first game was actually the majority of points that they picked up in the entire day. They ended up with 58 points, a little below that cutoff between the top 20 and the bottom 20 as we were sitting there. So with Gen G now getting another 21, that pushes them up to about 79
we
overall.
got 2
and they just need
KP,
maybe
1
another 10
PP,
to
so
15
we are
points over the
at
next
3
5 games.
TP.
Very doable for that. That has just removed a huge
Team
weight
Falcons
off their
10
shoulders.
kill. Team Falcons बोले what out तुम्हारे placement points मैं तो मारूंगा.
to start the mosh pit and then seeing the wall of death that comes afterwards.
Wow, Krishna.
Between Falcons
Wow.
on one side, you have Fnatic on the other.
Congratulations.
They both want to capitalize on the 3P, seeing the fight happen right in front of them. But then there's Gen G,
Lex bad
isolated,
legend.
uncontested, on the bottom left side of that final zone, for them to just walk up like it's a wall to the park.
And they were so sneaky.
Yeah.
And it's not the kind of thing you expect from Gen G, right? Because Gen G are usually the ones making all the noise. They're the ones, you know, massive presence, getting into the fights, but they play it so smart this time. Really, really opportunistic play there from Gen G to come out with the 9K
what are you talking
and
about?
the 12 placement points.
Ooh, man, reset after that intense game number 1. Fnatic, they try to live to at least try to force out that second place. It was a good call because they ended up getting it, right? They got the extra placement points. They didn't get the KP that they wanted. I believe, yeah, they finished with 4 KP in total. But being able to look at Yuka and what he was able to do at the very least here, he finalized himself in that second place. He survived, which was the goal.
बहुत early morning अंकित के लिए. हाँ यार, बहुत early morning है. I need
they really need those extra points.
Team Falcons in, you know, in the style that we are
Guys,
used to from them, pick up 10 kills, the most of anybody in the lobby. And it means even when things don't necessarily go to plan,
सीधा बेड में से लैपटॉप से वॉच पार्टी करती
हूँ. I'm doing that in air quotes here. They only pick up a third. They've still got 17 points. It's just, you know, even a bad game for the Falcons is better than almost anybody else in the lobby, right?
Define bad. Third place, 10 KP.
It's relative. It's relative.
And we knew that when we saw a lot of those teams congregate over to that north side, what a bloodbath that was going to be. If you see that zone pulling straight up down to the south. But that was just game number 1 on Store Point. This is how we get to start off our day number 2 for the LGS champs. Don't go anywhere because we got game number 2 on the
crazy idea. I want to go to a laptop. किसने बोला chat में? किसने बोला? मैं बेड पे ही हूँ लैपटॉप में. Yo, boss. See, such a goated idea, no? कौन गिफ्ट कर रहा है फिर लैपटॉप?
Sony InZone, the official monitor and audio partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
kills भाई. ये इंपीरियल हेल बंदा ये शॉर्ट्स और चप्पल में आता है खेलने मेन स्टेज पे और डॉग क्रैक करके जाता है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जेपी, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. ये जो सब 10 टिप्स टू गेट रिच क्विकली वाले होते हैं ना, जो इंटरव्यू दे के बोलते हैं मैं तो सुबह 4 AM उठता हूँ, मैं तो सनराइज के पहले उठता हूँ. इस बिकॉज उन लोगों को कुछ है नहीं करने को, उनके पीछे कोई पड़ा नहीं है. रिपोर्ट भेज. आज सबमिट करना है, उनको कुछ नहीं है. चल दुकान खोलनी है. चलो आज फर्स्ट इन लाइन लगना है, वरना आज के कंस्ट्रक्शन के साइट पे हमको नहीं मिलेगा. ये सब उनको नहीं करना होता, इसलिए वो रोज सुबह उठ के पहले जैसे उठते 10 मिनट पहले मैं मेडिटेट करता हूँ, 20 मिनट में जर्नलिंग करता हूँ. हाँ भाई, हाँ न्यूज़पेपर वाला भी हम लोग कितना सुबह के न्यूज़पेपर देके जाता है. दूध वाला भी कितना सुबह आता है. कुछ भी सुबह ऐसा उठने से ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है भाई. कि तुम सुबह उठोगे तो सीधा वेल्दी बन जाओगे. ये वेल्दी वाले तो सुबह उठते इसलिए कुछ नहीं करने के लिए. मैं सुबह उठता हूँ and then I spend the next 20 minutes
everyone. It's been a great day thus
really
far.
thinking about my goals for the day.
In Sapporo, the snowmen are out And the competition is
देखो
heating
goal
up. Not
बोला
enough
इतने
though
goal
to melt them
throw-in
down
आगे सामने.
as we
Wow,
take a
so
look
cute.
at our Sony in-zone monitors. Sony in-zone are powering the monitors and audio experience for the ALGS Year 5 champs. Lightning fast
Story के
OLED
साथ करो
monitors
Ghost of
and their
Tsushima.
lightweight
You
wireless
need to.
headsets give
No,
pros the
कुछ नहीं
tools
Ghost of
to
Tsushima.
win. It's been a great time to see
It
how
will
a lot of our
really
pros have
get
been
you
taking
into
advantage
story mode
of
games.
these
It's
monitors,
like
and
a
once
shorter
honestly
game
you
but
go
a very
towards OLED,
interesting
you
जितना भी
really
है लंबा
cannot go
game.
back when it comes
तो
to
तुमको
looking at how
मतलब interest
monitors
और
look
बढ़ेगा story mode
beautifully
games
with an
में.
OLED screen.
Don't
they
start
don't
with
go
something
back, they go
extremely
forward.
long.
They go
Start with
closer.
something
Like, I don't know if you've seen some of the pros, but they
interesting
will take
and
this monitor
short,
and
so
literally
it
like
pulls you
sit it
in.
on their eyeballs. I'm not sure why that gives you a competitive advantage, but it
Huh?
does.
I heard that
All the best players do it.
फिर
if you put your
अपने
forehead
20
against the
minutes
screen, you
of
just win more. That's just
reflecting
how
on
it works, you
today's
know. But back in
goals
the
के
day, it
बाद
used to be, you know, do you have the better gamer chair or not?
मैं
No, it's
10
about putting your
minute
forehead right there to make sure you see all the action
धूप
play
में
out
खुद
right in
को
front of you.
सेकता.
But you know, there's
I
some
need
teams
the
that I want to talk
environment,
about after that first performance. One of them that comes to mind is Shopify, a team that a lot
फिर
of people
उसके
were
बाद
expecting to
मैं
have those
quickly
pop-off
अपनी
opportunities. A
coffee
team that has no issue
and
getting
healthy
KP.
breakfast
But
के
what seems to
बाद
be the issue is placement
एक
points.
30
We haven't
minute
really seen
early
them
morning
within the top
workout
5, and then
session
you
fit
see the
करता
likes of
हूँ
like
अपने
Fnatic who have to make the play that they
fully
do just to at least get second
packed
place.
Yeah,
schedule
and the
में
thing is, it feels like, you
ताकि
know, especially
मेरे
like, scrims and all
senses
that,
awake
I
हो
promise
जाएं
we'll stop talking about them by tomorrow.
और
But
बाकी के
you know,
दिन
there's so many
मैं
teams that
fresh
play a
and
little looser
fit
in
रहूं.
scrims, and that opens up opportunities for edge, kill-hungry teams like Shopify.
समझ रहे हो ये सब बोलने वाले लोग ना ये ऑलरेडी अमीर होते हैं ठीक है ये इन लोग को जब स्ट्रगल कर रहे थे ना इन लोग का ये स्केड्यूल नहीं था ठीक है
and that will accrete enough points over the course of the day to be able to get them through.
This
and
is
then all
the
of a sudden
schedule you
LAN
have
comes along,
after you are
everyone's
already
like,
rich.
I'm gonna go zone. See you later. And Shopify are just like looking around like the John Travolta
Sorry
meme
कृष्णा
being
जी
like,
मेरे
hey,
पास पैसे
where
नहीं
is
मैं खुद के
everybody?
ब्लॉग एडिट करती
Where
हूँ
KP go?
Where did everyone go?
Please
I'll
double
try
the
it. It's
speed.
already
No, no, no,
zooming
no,
to
no,
the
no,
zone
no,
here.
no.
And
Wealthy
that
people
also
don't do
comes to show
anything
you
fast.
that everyone's game
They
plan
speak
isn't
calmly,
fully
slowly. They do
expanded
everything
on
slowly
until
क्योंकि
you
उनको
are
घाई
here
नहीं है
at the
कहीं
big
जाने
stage
की.
where it actually matters. That's why I like to loosely highlight how important scrim books are. It's great for
Slow.
context, but this is where it really matters, and this is where a lot of these teams like to pull out something else, usually up their sleeve. As Caustic is that first legend ban, once again, as we get started for game number 2. You have to imagine though,
Caster की आवाज़ overlapping
a
आपकी आवाज़.
refreshing
Caster को
breath,
बोलूँ मैं
maybe
शांत
feeling
रहे.
more secure.
बोल दूँ उसको.
It's VP, by the way, because after the action we saw
ये
before
guys
that
देखो अभी
restart,
हमारी team
they had
देखो
another
देखो
chance of
first
life,
हम बैठे हैं
and
right
they
side में.
were able
Oh,
to
देखो.
get at least 8th place with 9 points total. So they could at least walk away with that and some 7 KP before going into this game number 2. See it as another opportunity, and of course, since Newcastle's still involved and it's Caustic that's taking a step back, you highlighted this yesterday, Genome. When you don't have the Newcastle, you usually don't have the Valkyrie, right? So we still will have the Valkyrie Newcastle more than likely getting started into game number 2 on
पैसे इतना झूठ चलो super chat करो.
All right. Dropships have
Where
multiplied.
we
It used
landing,
to be
fam?
1. Now we've got 20. I don't know where they found the fleet from, but I personally think it has improved competitive Apex now that we've added every team getting into it at the same time. I mean, there used to even be RNG in terms of, you know, did you drop a minute before your opponents got to their POI? Crazy to think about, isn't it? They were done looting, and you were sitting up being like, has the seatbelt sign come off yet? Can I drop? Like,
where is my Uber driver taking me? I'm looking a little scared out here. Hopefully Skittle doesn't have a bad time this start around, by the way. After the shenanigans we saw at the start of game number 1. Gen G coming out of the dub in game number 1. Traversing, by the way, over by Lightning Rod. Remember we were talking about it when it comes to seed and champ points and how these POI drafts are done with Gen G taking Lightning Rod instead of Team Falcons, who don't have that advantage since they have to come out of Cenote. You know, Gen G's feeling pretty happy looking at where the zone is pooling, playing on the edge of the zone, trying to control a lot of the space.
JP तू editor है?
And really the team that's going to stop them over to that north side that they can wrap up
यार
on
मुझे ना
would be Hot Dog Mafia.
मैं अपने vlogs edit तो कर लेती हूँ लेकिन मेरे को ना बहुत time लगता है तो मेरे को ना fast करना सीखना है fast.
Completely unwilling.
वो देखो guys हम हैं
to
the
sit
mill
in a
में.
zone from early on, right? I mean, this isn't a 2023 Aurora where if they literally get zoned, they will anti-rotate and then come back
भाई
later.
already दो
Talking about coming back
बंदे
later,
मर
good
भी
order.
गए.
Getting the points that they need on the board.
एक बंदा मर गया.
Ankkita, player K.
इसको
Being
भेजा
the
था ना बाहर
first
scout
to
करने.
get called out
पक्का.
over on this north side. Alkkita by north pad will be able to call it an evac while Riddle order. The job is done. They found that one straggler and they're already on their rotate. They're going to be rotating from the south side of the wall where there's that big zip line.
And it's a good adaptation, right? Alkkita, as we mentioned, they've got the 2 POIs, so generally you want to loot both of them. So sometimes that means
graphic designer who? Wow, तेरे को पता है ये full भी graphic designer है.
And grab the KP.
रेड चिलीज में काम करता था ये शाहरुख खान खुद बात करता था इससे फिर भी आज तक इसने एक काम नहीं दिखाया अपना hey Tibun, how are you?
As a Riddle order do come out of checkpoint, they have that zip line at the very least, so they can immediately put themselves in that place if it isn't a trident in place or at least a zip line.
इसको पूछो edit करने आता है नहीं?
Yep, they can. They've just got the priority to get in there.
ज़्यादातर लोग edit सब खुद ही करते हैं.
Mafia sitting on the platform. If this is the zone that it looks like it is,
like it depends on what kind of an edit you want. If you want like a heavily done one, then I think people get it done. But if you want like a simple one,
if you have a rampart,
like it depends तुम कितने skilled हो editing में भी. Like पहले तो मैं तो नहीं करती थी भाई खुद का. मैंने किया है थोड़ा सा, but like I used to take like 6 hours to do one, and I think that's way too long for like one vlog.
You can just guarantee they're going to have eyes to the sky, be watching for those, you know,
so
they know it's one of the only ways they can lose.
It depends
that
on how good you are at editing also. Not everyone knows how to edit.
Passage is possible, but a little harder because
there are a lot of
so much
people who don't edit
ground
anything
to traverse to get there.
So I'm sweating a little bit because if you take a look at the amount of legends that have been picked here, Newcastle and Rampart are tied 17 apiece, but we saw a lot of Newcastle last game, Gino, and just by the process of evaluation, you can expect Newcastle to be that next legend band, which means we may not have to look to the skies too often if teams don't feel comfortable rocking the Valkyrie without that Newcastle. Reignite, finding their own home on top of this cliff here. They have the crate right to their backs for some safety, as well as the rock right in front of them to play to the line of sight of the teams that will be rotating in that direction, because there are so many squads that are
good. अब तक एक ही मैच हुआ है.
Exiting out of Zoo Station. And they're not the only ones. When we take a look at Cupid Esports, one of the teams who are taking their time over from that south side, we're looking at Fire Strays originally, but with the Ring 1 closing in and with this zone pulling all the way to the north, you have to imagine Team Falcons are probably on their rotate out of Cenote Cave, and so is Liquid Alienware, who gets out of Barometer.
I mean, it's spicy enough that we've got them on the same stage, but landing an adjacent POI as well. We saw them almost come to blows last game. Hopefully it'll happen some point in this game or the next game. We get to see those two go head to head, but for now it's Cupid coming up to Fire Strays towards Jurassic. You've got Unlimit over here. They've got the evac tower at the ready. Is that? Okay, they've got someone behind. What is going on here? They're going for the split Evos? Is that what they're looking for, perhaps?
Or maybe the scan here too, if they're going to be hovering over by checkpoint alone. There is that survey beacon over to that north side if they want to try to pile that together.
Getting up to the top of on checkpoint.
Just get ahead of the curve, that way they could go in for a quick rotate, because this is actually going to be a very detrimental rotate here with a lot of teams that have already found their place on that hillside. It's like good luck getting out of wall with the teams that are going to be looking you from the inside of those buildings. VP caught on the other side of the zip line here. Talk about being separated, isolated from the rest of this lobby.
One Punch Man में वो कौन है वो छोटी सी
will have priority into getting into command center. There is also a ring console, so they could play objective. And if they haven't gotten that Evo Harvester already, they could get that with Shopify Rebellion calling in an evac tower of their own onto the rooftop of Stormcatcher to maybe go in from right behind them.
Okay.
Maybe Reliance के साथ damn Reliance का office तो बहुत बड़ा है ना.
Obviously, they're one of the most zone-heavy teams in this entire lobby.
Women's apparel sector.
You know, into the entire tournament. To be honest, very late rotate. This circle certainly does not benefit them. They did get the ring console down at Pylon, but it is quite a ways to get up there. So they're having to take their time, which certainly doesn't suit their playstyle quite as much. MT fantastic at calling zones and certainly playing spot to spot once you get in there, and they've been doing an admirable job of it, but you know, sometimes the zones don't go your way and you've got to change plans, you've got to change tactic here. At 58 points coming into this lobby, they need probably at least 40.
ROC,
so that's,
5 years.
It's a bit of a task ahead of VP. As you said, they got 9 from the first game that perhaps might not have had that restart happen, so surely they've got to feel like luck is at least somewhat on their side.
You make sure you take those, is what I always say when you win out of an interaction like that. And then VP are currently fighting off against Gen G because they know that there was a beacon there, I believe it was a circle beacon over in command center, so Gen G maybe getting that information, trying to gatekeep that information from the teams that are lingering over there, or they could be coexisting on the high ground too, because we still have alters in this lobby, just like we saw in our last game. It's one less altar though, 4 altars in total, but this enables these teams to get a little bit more aggressive. You see that altar portal right there, smack dab in the middle of command center, and more action here as Rock had a pretty strong first game start.
Usually
They got a good
One
amount
Piece,
of
I
KP, but
haven't
that zone did
seen
not
One
favor them,
Piece.
pulled
Terrible
completely
tornado.
away from them.
Hold on.
And this time around, it may do the same because this zone is going to continuously pull uphill outside of wall closer to Zoo Station. We've seen a zone like this time and time again in the history of the ALGS. Just in different iterations and Riddle Order had gotten ahead of the curve to bunker down over by the cliff side on the south side of that hill.
2 of Gen G. They're down right now, and it's Dexter trying to
Small
take the
green
whip
girl, one
and
punch man
just
search
get
करे
out of there.
तो भी तात्सुमाकी आती है. Yes, Tatsumaki.
Adrian Ziki full killed.
Cross check कर रही थी. That was my way of cross checking.
Dexter actually grabs the
जाओ,
gravity
recall करो.
cannon. He might get chased by Cupid now. I think
चलो
Cupid have
भागो.
actually noticed this. You can see them looking at him on the mini-map, but now turning away, deciding, okay, interesting. They don't want to chase a single KP. Perhaps they just want to make themselves a little safer inside the zone first.
Not going to be worth it here when Cupid Esports know that they're going to have to wrap around the south side of the zone, but it may be a fight for an Evo Harvester. Take an eye on Cupid Esports, and who caught them was Fire Strays. It looks like they're on the Trident, currently as a trio, still all 3 standing up. Fire Strays now looking to see if they can back away. This is one of the teams with a Newcastle Rampart and Altar squad. So at least if they have that Altar ultimate, they could try to retreat back. As Cupid Esports up on the high ground, we'll have the charge rifle, but it was a fight for that Evo Harvester. Now Fire actually wrapping right behind them instead, as all these teams are trying to desperately get into the edge of the zone. While with VP right now counting their blessings, sitting in 6 overall thus far in this lobby. Still 20 squads left with round 2 closing in behind them.
I think VP are, probably very aware.
सब रोटेशन काट लो, मेरे को 2 बंदे रिवाइव करने हैं, मुझे कोई फाइट नहीं लेनी.
Scuttling on by, making it out scot-free there for the moment, but I don't know how much that's going to help him. He's probably going to try and craft over in command
मैं तो कोई भी
center.
एनिमे देखे अपने हाँ टेक्नो
looks
ने
like
भी
he's
नहीं देखी
actually
थी
in
उसको
there
हम
by
फर्स्ट चालू किया अभी
himself,
एलटी दिखा रहे हैं उसको सबसे पहले.
Got the whole POI.
एकदम माइंड बॉगलिंग हो गया है
Cupid
इसका.
Esports probably going to notice
Season
if there's
2
a respawn
episode
coming
6
in
पे आए
through
हैं.
there, but what other play do they have really? Fire Strays actually coming up through the other approach to the north side of the wall. But it's going to be TSM up there trying to hold them out. Shopify Rebellion also in the vicinity. Though, of course, when you get to this part of the map, it does start to be hard to tell they're on the high ground or the low ground.
The Trident blew up in front of them. The Trident blew up in the middle of the rotate. They were caught between 2 teams, and Shopify are like for free. Christmas came a second time around. Let the shield sing as Zap. He lets it blow. TSM right behind them finds Crook. It was a TSM and Shopify Rebellion sandwich, and with the Trident breaking at their feet, Fire Strays are the first team to get eliminated in game number 2.
That was rough. that was very hard to watch.
Oh, we got the Mythic Bin too?
Oh,
Dupe is
Mythical
happy.
Bin.
Ooh, Gold Alternator. We were talking
he
about
got
how
that
there's been an
cool
uptick
shit,
in usage for that recently. And honestly, the later you get on in the game, the better it becomes, right? It's at mid to long ranges, it's not that great. Only one of the bullets is going to hit at any particular time, and that means you're kind of just like wasting ammo at that
Please,
point, right?
please, अब तक ये तीसरा मैच चल रहा था already. हमने पहले वाला restart किया था. Don't do this.
And both bullets hit all of a
Don't
sudden,
do this
it becomes
again.
one of the best guns in the game.
How about that ulti with that double tap goes crazy. You got all the goop off of that Mythic Bin.
Please.
Getting away scot-free because
I had the whole thing planned out. 9:45 watch party चालू होती है, and then सिर्फ 6 ही मैप है, तो 2.5 hours max में खत्म हो जाएगा. 12 तक I will be back in bed and asleep
looking at the blood
for my afternoon
of
nap.
this lobby as we take a quick pause, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. But breaking down the action and what you can
You know how the wealthy
when we
people wake
go
up super early in the morning
back to
so
the
they
game
can take
is
naps
a lot
in
of
the
these teams have
afternoon.
congregated over to the wall side.
I am trying to be
That
like
means
them.
that once these teams have the
उनकी
information that
lifestyle
they probably
copy
don't have
करो.
because they found this spot into the homes of the
उससे ही
wall
हम
very
खुद भी
early
wealthy
on,
बन
so they don't
जाएंगे
have the
guys.
ring
ये tips
console.
and tricks याद रखना. जब
It's
तुम
going to
wealthy
be
बन जाओगे तो
crazy
आके
to see
मुझे
teams
thanks
that have to
बोलना
come out of
होगा.
that congestion
Thanks
from the
अंकिता.
west side of that map and all
ये
into the line of sight
great. ये
of
देखो ये
real
भी
order.
on
We
कर
still
रहा
have to look
है.
behind
इसको
them
भी
because
afternoon
Reignite
nap
is also
लेना
right
है.
there with their own
I
Newcastle wall,
understand, man.
as well as
Afternoon
Rampart.
naps are
And then
important.
TSM, the least contested team up on the high ground, will eventually have to go down to the south side of the hilltop from their building that's on the outskirts of Zoo Station. Then you look at Shopify Rebellion, and they don't have information that there's a
मैं
duo
गुड़गांव के मॉल
playing
में
in
कब
the
आई हूँ?
caves right below their feet. That is men of culture. So
गुड़गांव
Shopify
के
will
मॉल में मैं
inevitably,
कब
unless
आई
they have
हूँ?
an evac tower or evac ult, have to
गुड़गांव
push
हो
onto
गई है.
TSM. That could be an isolated fight. Reignite could move up there, but I do not expect Reignite or Red
पता है
Order
टीबुन
to
मैंने
give
भी
up
टीबुन
their
को यही
positioning.
बोला था.
And even the
But फिर
teams
उसने बोला कि
that are in
ऑस्ट्रेलिया
the
से
far
वापस आ
north
गए
to
तो
try
अभी
to
क्या
call out a
करेंगे?
final zone positioning on the outskirts of where the Prowler Den is will also have to move once they see where this next zone is pulling.
All right. While we've got a pause here, let's take a look at the Red Bull first strike.
मैं
We'll see
गुड़गांव के मॉल
who
कब आई
managed to
थी?
kill
मैं ही थी
the
क्या?
first team to
मैं
go
गई हूँ क्या
down here.
guys?
Of course, we've still got
गुड़गांव
19
के मॉल
left in it, so we've
Hey
only got one to
Shahan,
pick
what's
from,
up?
don't
आपका
we? And of
duplicate
course,
होगा
it
कोई.
was
मैंने
by
अपने
our
वो
strays that were on the wrong
उसको
end of
भेजा
that,
होगा.
and as you can
Body
see,
double
Panic
को.
chipping away from down at the hill, but it is Shopify Rebellion who close in with deadly accuracy to finish off
मैंने अपने
enemy.
body double को भेजा होगा.
Not Crook, they got Cersei. Crook, I think, was the one who got stolen away by TSM down
Bye guys,
the
I'm not
hill.
gonna lie,
So,
okay? The
nice
outfit
little
that I'm
combo
wearing
effort
and that
there.
Chinese
And
trend
Fire
reel,
Strays, unfortunately, will not be back
that
with us
outfit I
when we
got
come
from
out of this
Japan,
pause.
and
They
that is a
are-
full
they
length
have the
dress,
longest
and I did
time
not
of
have to
anyone,
alter
to
it.
sit here
आधा
think
इंच
on
भी
their
छोटा नहीं
mistakes.
किया, वरना
As
there
I
have been
was
times
chuckling
जब मेरे को
because
jeans
there-
और ये
there's
सब
certain
कपड़े ना
things at
कभी कभी
Apex
ना
that always
आधा
cracks
इंच
me
भी
up, and,
ऑल्टर
like,
करनी
when you see
पड़ती है
a
वो एक
trident just
परफेक्ट
blow up,
लेंथ
you
के
just know
लिए.
what's inevitable,
बट
right?
मैंने
Especially when
वहाँ
you're
से
caught
जो
in a lobby
कपड़े
like
लिए
this,
ना
like,
जापान
you
से
needed it
एक
for your
भी
rotate,
चीज़ ऑल्टर
although
नहीं
they were
करनी
on
पड़ी
it
है
for a
मुझे.
while, right? We saw them rotate
Just
south of
saying.
Command Center originally when they were wrapping around the Evil Harvester. They missed. Dexter originally was the
Ambience
last
mall
one
में आई
alive
थी
from
ना
Gen G,
यार,
who is looking to try to
सुना
get a
हुआ
reset
लग
of
रहा
his
है,
own all the way
लेकिन
down to Command Center on
मुझे
that
डाउट हो रहा है
replicator.
कि मैं कब
As we get set up here,
वैलो के टाइम गई
seeing the
थी. हाँ
outcome
क्या
of
गई
these
होगी.
rotates of a zone like
एक्चुअली
this
कई
pulling
कई
super
जगहों पे
far
ना मैं
north,
अपने बॉडी
it's
डबल्स
not
भेजती
as
हूँ, तो
easy,
मुझे
especially
याद
with
नहीं
the amount
रहता
of
कि मैं
Valkyries in this
एग्जैक्टली
lobby. We know
कहाँ
that
कहाँ
Stone
ऐसा
Point
बोली हूँ कि मैं
has that
गई
very
हूँ.
strong high
Because
to
in
low
some
ground
places
depending on
I
what side of the
send
map you're on.
my
North
body
obviously
doubles.
allowing you to traverse a lot more space if you take a Valkyrie ult, let's say, in covering that ground. Now when you have to go all the way to the north side though, you have to look around which Tridents are available, which Tridents have already gotten destroyed, because that means that the Trident, that Fire Strays just, you know, died on, now another team could walk up and try to take
Hi,
that same Trident,
cuties.
and it
Hello,
could be the likes of
everybody.
even Gen G if it is around them.
That is a possibility. What I can see, we
लोग
are
बोल रहे हो
trying to
गई हो
get
तो
back
गई
into
होगी.
the game. It looks like we've got about 10 seconds left before that gets started
बॉडी डबल
up.
से मेन प्रियंका दी देखो अभी मैं कोई
And
जोक
from
मार
where
दी
this
थी
ring is
फिर
pulling, it's
cancel हो जाती
certainly
है.
not deceiving us.
इससे
It looks
अच्छा
like
मैं
it will
ये
be going
इंस्टा
towards
सब ग्रुप में ही जोक
platform with
मारूं.
Hot Dog Mafia. And here we go, getting back into the
आपकी हाइट वाली
action.
बॉडी डबल मिल कैसे गई?
Fans cheer on their team,
जब
who's
ढूंढने पे
unfortunately
भगवान
probably a
मिल सकते हैं
little
तो मुझे
further
बॉडी
down
डबल
the
क्यों
hill
नहीं?
than they would prefer to be. Falcons much further out, but if there's one team you can count on to worm their way in, Vicky, it's the Bird.
Take it to the size. Team Falcons looking for their prey.
Imperial
As
Hell is
Hal's on
locked
that
in.
valve
उसने बोला
with the
एक
G7
आधा
in
इंच
hand.
दिखा ना
And we
मेरे को
talked about it
उसकी
too, but when you got that
feet भी
Rampart,
दिख
you
गए
don't
ना
have to
अगर
worry too
टोन नेल
much
भी
about
दिख
the
गया
light
ना मैं
ammo
गोली
that you
मारना
may be
चालू कर
lacking,
दूंगा.
at least in Hal's term.
Yep, most teams certainly going for that perk. Infinite
Toenail
ammo
breaking
behind the amp cover
aim.
is very useful in some of these situations. It's even Zero going for the double tap alternator there. I think particularly on your legends like Valkyrie, again, that tend to be the entry
लॉल
fraggers,
मुझे लगा इधर RGB
that
लाइट
is
वो
where
वाइट
the
कलर की चालू
alternator
थी.
is the most
Sunlight है
useful.
वो.
And more players do seem to be
My bad,
adopting
fam.
that.
Hey,
This
Vex,
is
how are you?
TSM.
Hey guys,
Taking
good morning.
Shopify Rebellion. Okay, so they've made their way down the hill after taking out Fire Strays here. They're looking to take this position off TSM, and they say, wag their fingers, send them back to spawn, and we've got, I think, 1 knocked and 1 full killed now.
It comes in clutch when Dupe had been able to get access to the Mythic bin, and now Panic has a car in his hand. We'll take the goop all day, as now they're going to be able to get shot from the belly, and they go out in 19.
Yeah,
that is not what you want to see. We were talking about the struggles at Falcons, now playing up the low ground, looking at S8UL. Guild with the Sheila tries to break down the Newcastle wall over to the other side of the deployable barrier.
Yeah, I mean, they only needed an average day, but they're off that pace at the moment. Cupid Esports will go down. Gen G, the question here is, can they weather the storm? 5 Fears trying to mantle up. That always means you're going to take more damage than normal, and apparently that is enough to scare them off. Good news for Gen G with the reset.
How many of these teams are going to have to forcibly take to the skies? Because this is where we're going to see the majority of these squads drop. With 17 squads left, you have round 4 closing in the next 56 seconds. And none of these teams, by the way, at least in the next zone and where we're going to be seeing, it's really Hot Dog Mafia that's isolated, that could just waltz in once this next zone closes and they reveal that following zone. In this current zone, though, Men of Culture are safe. Reignite, TSM on the cusp, but it's all these squads collapsing on one another by wall.
Oh, Unlimit coming in through one of the nuts here. They got FaZe on top of them. They're going to take down Zane. Fnatic looking for the third party here. Unlimit now on the clock.
FaZe अनलिमिटेड फनाटिक सब एक डोम में सारी टीम कैसे फिट होगी अब ये नीचे गिरेगा और फनाटिक वाले सब इनके किल चुरा लेंगे आओ उधर कहां छुपे हो कॉर्नर में आओ
he's got the overhealth here, so that's all he needs right now. He already popped that one shield cell before looking to their left. They call it out though. There's a team up on high ground. Do they want to extend on this fight with Hot Dog Mafia? Not really paying attention to this Unlimit versus FaZe fight, but really looking behind them. Now Fnatic are looking at this fight, and if it's not a Rampart wall, you see it's a Newcastle wall as they take the skies from the Valkyrie.
Oh, the Valkyries are coming in. It is Falcons.
Falcon वाले भी हट गए हम लोग के फाइट से.
Who gets the higher ground? It's actually Falcons. They're looking down on Team Liquid right now. 5 Fears taking a few hits here, and we do see Hal get knocked. Guild down as well. It's the Sheila from Sykes coming out, and that's 1 to Team Liquid.
Team Liquid come out on top with some help of pressure. Hot Dog Mafia with only Skittle cannot clutch it. Hot Dog Mafia get taken out by a limit who brute forced their way up onto the high ground. They saw the opportunity. They took it when everybody else took to the skies with the Valkyrie ultimate. Yuka, though, gets pinged from the distance. It's going to be the triple take that sends him down. And Limo Ace gets to back him up as they're looking for the res.
Hot Dog Mafia are going to be so unhappy about having that position taken away from them, but everyone is just clustered here on the low ground. Nades are raining in. They're really trying to make something happen, but we've got Rig.
He just
TSM with Panic trying to stay alive. He has a car. He has a triple take. But it's not going to be enough. It's up to Jets, and he cannot clutch when they had all the weapons in their arsenal. TSM fall. Liquid Alienware. Meet them in the spawn. And Ankkita are still alive. They're looking to get this res. None of these squads are in this next zone. This is the bloodbath that we were expecting, but it is also littered with Rampart walls everywhere.
Ankkita in a good spot now. They need 50 points in this series to go forward. They know they need a big day, and this could be where they get a brace of those points. But Gen G on the opposite side to them, they've actually got a lot of space above them. However, we know Gen G, one of the only teams not playing Valkyrie. In fact, I think the only team left in this lobby right now that doesn't have access to a Skyward dive.
I'm working on something crazy.
The clutch MVP respawn from Dexter, who stayed alive. No one's looking at Gen G, by the way.
अरे नहीं यार ये शागनिक और टेक्नो घर पे आए हैं ना तो उनको भी कुछ दिन एंटरटेन कर दी संडे को जा रहे हैं वापस टेक्नो
against Reignite, but this fleets are back open for Riddle Order to take them apart.
The smoke goes out. I think it might have been removed by a grenade there, so not providing the cover that they were hoping that it would. Unlimit, they move out from the platform. They are aggressively trying to defend their space. Good knock. Gen G go down. Now now it's Riddle Order they have to worry about next.
मुक्की कौन मार रहा था इधर?
With the Moby beacon right here, Laurie Man is going to be able to get that
मुक्की कौन
next
मार रहा
knock.
था
Riddle
इधर?
Order get eliminated. 5 squads left. They have to keep their attention to the team to the right side that is hugging the wall.
Oh my, Laurie Man is hugging this mobile respawn beacon like it's his grandma right now. That is all the cover that Unlimit have to work with. They don't have the Bangalore. The only one of those is gone down. Oh, sorry, they do.
Yeah,
they are
respawn
playing
beacon
the
as cover is
Valkyrie,
very insane.
Maggie
मैं भी
Bangalore. So
पहले जब
they are one of
lifeline
the only
खेलती
teams
थी
that
ना
can
जब lifeline
survive on
खेलता
this side of the
actually
hill
useful
with those smokes.
It's going to come in clutch here when you have little to no cover.
तभी
They're
मैं भी
literally
lifeline
diverting their
card
attention in
as
every
cover use
direction.
करती थी
VP,
open ground
who's
में.
the
So
next
very-
victim?
it was very
Lou was
useful,
at least able to get that
multi-purpose.
re-knock here,
Very
but it's
useful
only
ultimate.
up to you, Laurie Man. The Sheilas, though, having to play around 2 knockdown shields of Moby in our last 3 squads. VP take the most space, looking at Limit, and Rock are not getting involved.
I mean, we talked about how late VP's
उन
rotate
लोगों ने बोला
was,
अच्छा
and you're
lifeline खेल
telling me
सब cover
they're a
जैसे use
top
करते हैं तो
2
हम
team
एक cover
in
ही दे
this
देते हैं
lobby?
ultimate.
They've got the high ground
चलो
over
ROC
Rock
वर्सेस
right now.
VP
This
Watch
is an
Pro जिसने
incredibly
हमको
great
मारा वो
game
जीतेगा क्या
from
2 times in a
VP.
row पिछली बार
But
जेंजी
Rock
जीता
Esports
जिसने हमको
huddling
ये किया था
behind
अभी
their walls.
Watch Pro
This
है
is gonna
जिसने
be
हमको
one of
मारा
the
था जो हमको
longest
मारे वो
top 2
मैच जीत जाए ऐसा
fights
कुछ है
I think
क्या
we'll see for quite a while. MT, if he can stun some here
देखते हैं
with the missile
अगर
swarm,
Watch Pro
it could
जीती
be
तो
the
फिर
go button.
Even more
possibility
important when
है
you
ये
have
खेलने
VP looking to find the dub as Slayers gets the knock. 1 left for Rock, who want to stay up as 2 squads left. Saucera taken to the skies. It was a Valkyrie ult just to stay alive, but good luck in a 1v3 situation. This is VP for the win to clean up what is left of Rock.
Yeah 2 times in a row
Big finish
the
from
team that killed us
Virtus
is the team that won.
Rocking all the way
Your home
out
setup
from
chair,
the
any suggestions?
pylon.
Yeah, I would suggest that you go to a chair store physically and sit on all of the chairs and see which you are comfortable in. Headrest, armrest, सब जितने रेस्ट है सब adjust करके देखो कि तुमको अगर 10-12 घंटा उधर बैठना है तो तुम किस चेयर पे कंफर्टेबल हो बैठ के देखो. I would not say कि online जाके ये खरीद लो वो ही खरीद लो. I'm a big believer of sitting on chairs.
They have molded it into a win. They have just bent that game to their will. That is fantastic play, and MT is exactly the kind of guy you expect to pull off a miracle.
It's so crazy to dissect all the late rotating teams. Gen G being another one, being one of the last teams too to try to enter into that zone.
Yeah, Sid को girl gang में count किया है.
To push right in
Okay,
front
we
of
got
Riddle
3
Order, but
KP
from a
and
full
2 PP.
reset, they had to slow rotate, and it
So
was a
that's why
lot
we
of the
got Team
teams that
Liquid and
collapsed
2
on one another
PP
over by
for
wall,
coming.
where we saw long ball because you're so open into the line of sight of the teams that already have height, but they're also fixated in their own personal fights.
So it was 23 points in the end for VP. Unlimit pick up a few there, 14 points. Rock 16, we'll be happy with that, but it's very much clustered up the top.
Next
for this
legend
one.
band is Newcastle.
Get 8, that's not too
अपने
bad.
revives
They
को बोलो
are on,
bye.
probably behind track,
Only
right,
chair
'cause
I'm
they
comfortable
need
in my bed.
roughly 8 to 10 points per game. It's a tough ask if they want to make top 20, but you know, they made their bet and now they got to sleep in it.
But it's a dub necessary here for VP, Gino, because right before this, VP
उनके बाद
we're
तो
sitting at
दोपहर हो रही है ना?
27th in the overall group standings. Now we get to see Lou pop off 7 KP to his name. Great comms from this team to take this fight slow, but
And
also
Levi,
being able to maintain the
but,
KP right when they knew that they wanted to take the fight uphill. Then all they had
I think
to
maybe
do
like a
was
once
look
a
at
month or
Rock,
something it
who
would be
wanted
fun.
to inch forward. They didn't
Because
want to
otherwise
even
then it
show
would
their
be too
face when they
often
heard the
and then
fighting
it
going
would
down,
lose
because
its
they were looking to try to reset from the low
special
ground
touch.
before they, VP specifically, was
Where
able
are
to find
we?
those 2
8
first
points
initial knocks.
total, 12 right now.
So 32 points sitting at the top of this
और
lobby
points
after that
चाहिए
win.
और
Will be
मारो.
followed up by Gen G, of course. Victors in
One
game
good
1,
game.
whereas Rock have been a little more consistent than that. Team Falcons,
I wish we could work
however,
from bed. कर लो ना
I think
कौन
they
आया
got
घर में
all
देख
17
लैपटॉप
of
लेके
their
बेड में
points
बैठो
in,
कॉल के टाइम पे
game
जाओ
1,
टेबल पे
if I'm
और
not
क्या पूरा टाइम थोड़ी तुमको
mistaken.
देखना
So
है वीडियो कॉल
sure,
पे.
they're sitting in 4th place right now, but a little bit of a loss of momentum there. Another team sitting behind them, as we said.
Bhavuk, we are doing good only.
50 points, 8 per team. Sorry, 8 per game. May not actually even.
They say I have
get them there,
$500
Vicky.
to upgrade home
Imagine
setup.
that,
Oh
pulling
my
out like
god,
a
मतलब
48
company
point
दे रही है ना.
series and still falling short.
तो पहले उनको बोलो कि $2000 करो क्योंकि सबसे पहले तो मैं लूँगा अपने लिए लैपटॉप और फिर बैठो बस हो गया सेट और जब फेस कैम चालू करने का टाइम आए तब जाके टेबल पे बैठ जाओ थोड़ी सी आएगी
Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, for Falcons at least, they're going to make it through.
Done Ocean. Chalo, लिख लिया मैंने तुमने जो बोला है.
As far as getting into that winners bracket is concerned.
Next
I
game
guess
देखते हैं अभी.
for them, it's always just, they're kind of like their own worst critic, right? They're always thinking about we need to be number one. Some of these other squads just think like, please give me top 20. But for Falcons, you know, if they come anything lower than that top spot, you know, they're going to be flagellating themselves on that.
Yeah, and then you take a look at VP and what Rock was able to do at the very
no,
end.
No,
right there.
Kavish, we will go in the top upper bracket thing
Rock
only.
Participating in these end zones more and more consistently, changing their game plan on the fly, and it's incredible because you see that and you take that away from scrims where they feel very confident, trying to see the back roll as Vax, you know, allows them to just really shine, but then without trying to overextend. When they were originally in the wall,
for sure, that too we will go in upper bracket only, I feel.
On Storm Point Genome, we got more action coming up here on the ALGS Championship. Don't go anywhere. We got game number 3.
कल क्यों नहीं करी स्ट्रीम आपने यार डॉक्टर? मुझे लगा 9:30 PM को वॉच पार्टी थी यार, मुझे नहीं पता था 9:30 AM को वॉच पार्टी है. मुझे कल शाम को पता चला कि मैं जब 9:30 PM की स्ट्रीम के लिए जब मैं ऐसा फ़ोन इंस्टा सब खोली देखी तभी मैंने देखा कि यार ये तो सुबह से चल रहा है मैच. मेरा तो पोपट हो गया. I have 500 rupees for this week pocket money said like क्या sad life भाई 500 rupees this week मिल रहा है तुमको. मेरे टाइम पे 500 rupees per week पता है कितना है? पॉकेट मनी तुम बच्चे हो अभी, काफ़ी है तुम्हारे एक्सपेंसेस के लिए इतना. तुमको क्या करना है? हाँ ये देखो चेयर किया है. Have I ever? No, I've never heard that. Levi? What a weird combination, Frankie. हाँ Kavish, we will go from upper bracket only.
Welcome back in the beautiful city of Sapporo here in Japan. It's snowy, but the competition is just heating up. Look at that, being able to run on the sleigh with the horse. It's been beautiful out here. I've been seeing snowmen everywhere. I've been seeing a crazy crowd out here in Sapporo, and it's only going to get better as the tournament goes on, Gino.
Maybe if your Trident gets blown up, we could go for the horse-drawn cart?
Oh, I'm kind of down actually. We're gonna frame one,
अभी
get on
सोचो
top of
लीवाई
that,
तुम
but you know
सीए
what?
के फाइनल
While
में
you
हो
guys are
फिर
here
जब तुम
attending,
सीए
for those of
बनोगे
you guys in Sapporo, don't forget Google Play is powering a premium fan experience here in Sapporo for the ALGS Year 5 champs. So make sure you go over to the Google Play booth to check out what they have to offer.
अब देखो
All right,
500
we got
per
2 games
hour.
in now, Vicky. We've
Per
had a
hour.
Gen G win. We've had a Virtus Pro win. I'm happy. Both those teams have Apex South players in them. You know, just a little bit of bias. But look, it was a fantastic game from both those teams. Actually, neither of them in God spots early on, right? Like, they really had to work for those victories.
Yeah, it was really chaotic when you had a lot of the teams trying to force their way from the south side of the hill. But then, you know, TSM had the right idea.
So
but then they drop from the high ground. They try to take what they think is going to be an isolated fight over to the side with the cliff hugging their backs. For them to fall in my opinion, uncharacteristic way. I mean, they had all the tools, right? They literally had the mythic bin. Panic at the car. He slid down, but you know what was a problem? We heard Sheila's
see,
everywhere.
the vision is that now you are at 500
like it was
per
free.
week, right?
Like they were just
so you gotta enjoy this phase you are in right now, because the goal is that you will never repeat this phase again. You will never be in this situation again. So just enjoy the experience right now, because you never wanna be that way again.
They had a Sheila as well. Let me just double check on that. Alg was on the altar. Yeah, Skittle was
तो अभी सारे memories बना लो ये phase के, क्योंकि बाद में जाके तो
their eyes would have been glued to the sky. They knew that a Valk slam is the only way they're going to get caught off guard.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean,
हाँ, event के 2 दिन पहले उसका controller ban किया था ना because of the macros and stuff. I know. I follow Apex.
Godspot from like zone 1.
I follow all the Apex stuff.
It's so frustrating
Except for the schedule.
to sit on the death cams, because remember, they are watching Unlimited's POV for the rest of the game.
Because my college life is nothing. Ha, even I was not a college person.
These are placement points that we should have been getting. And it's just really frustrating for Hot Dog Mafia in that situation when, yeah, I mean, we didn't see the first 5 seconds of the fight. So you just where was the Sheila to just absolutely burn people out of the sky as they were slamming?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They were looking at 2 different directions too. They heard 2 different teams fighting on each side, and maybe a lack of consistent decision-making there. As we take a look at VP, talk about the Hail Marys from
character
this team.
ban वाला चीज समझाओ. So basically, they are playing 6 maps, right? 6 games.
What, 9 points or so in that
So,
first game?
first game में जो भी सबसे most pick legend है, जैसे इनके first game में सबसे ज़्यादा pick, majority, almost every team में there was a caustic. So second game onwards, that legend is banned for all of the maps.
And remember, we don't have Newcastle, so it's kind of like, look, if you don't have a
Then
Newcastle
second game में जो भी सबसे ज़्यादा picked है, जैसे इनका जो पिछला game था, उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा pick किया था teams ने Newcastle. तो अभी ये थर्ड मैच ऑनवर्ड्स न्यूकैसल भी बैंड है कॉस्टिक के साथ, तो ये दोनों कोई टीम पिक नहीं कर सकते अभी. बाकी ये जो 6 मैप्स हैं, इनमें से जो अभी जितने भी मैच बचे उसमें वो 2 लेजेंड्स पिक नहीं कर सकते हैं.
Have just gotten a little sneaky pick here onto 5 Fears, but I'll tell you what, Cupid Esports, Rock Esports, and Virtus Pro are on all 3 sides of Jurassic right now.
I mean, I see the wingman with the gold mag as well as the R9, and I know that floating is definitely a man of culture himself. Oh my God, floating with the 3 KP, but here comes another team. It is Vaclon who wants in on the action onto this duo who's just trying to stay alive.
Oh my God, that is one of the most stylish Red Bull first strikes I think we have seen so far. There are not many players right now who are picking up the wingman. Effect is one of them. He'll sit on the Maggie and use her perk to go R9 wingman and have full movement speed at any time with the pistols and the SMGs, but apparently floating is now part of that exclusive
कल भी ऐसे खेल रहे थे.
And managed to stay alive, by the way. And now more teams are moving up VP.
इनका ये play style सही है कि जाके early fights में नॉर्मल में KP निकालो जहाँ पे इतना कुछ होगा नहीं उनकी टीम के पास backup.
And what's crazy is this, the commitment for these fights. For the zone's not pulling here, by the way, Rock. Trying to back away, but it's the fact that we see teams flying in just to participate in this fight. Because you have to imagine the teams in the area, right? Like Pylon, where VP's going to exit out of.
Get 0 KP.
If it was they get like 2 placement one of the situations where you don't have ring console, so you see a bunch of other teams fly in and you're like, well, just assume the zone is there. But I think what VP are trying to do is grab this ring console. You can see
अभी भी तो एक निकाल लिए इन लोग ने, ये अच्छा play style है, जाके fight करो.
But yeah, they might get stuck here for a little while in this fight
get
versus Rock Esports.
And they're going to fight for it. They have confidence right now. They just came out of a dub, and they're looking at the team that they sent down in 2nd place, Rock Esports, that were scattered. They lost out on 2 very early in the fight. You can see in the feed, TSM also cleaning up some KP themselves. I like this position from Lou, though. I'm feeling like I'm getting a little bit of deja vu, seeing him on the Gibby, wrapping up on the other side of this tree, trying to harass Rock as TSM get the following knock onto Red Sea, reignite, get eliminated. TSM feeling themselves after that one.
Nice little pick up for Fnatic there.
Visa issue hai.
Go back to Jurassic, where this fight is still ongoing, apparently. Mastiff is out for Lou, of course. Jibby, he wants the shotguns.
Where was MT there? He was separated over to the other side, maybe trying to take a different off angle, but now it's CBC help playing off the knockdown now as MT has the high ground. He has the advantage. He has the alternator as well as the blue mag. Sky nades hurtled in his direction. He needs to play this safely before he tries to go into the reposition. It's a 1v1.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, might get the res off here. Do they hear it? Do they think he's going to stick
He's doing it too. He's doing it too. They're also trying to get the res reset right now as well. They want to get loot because he's the Gibby, so he's going to be able to get the fast res. Beautiful shot from MT to get the triple take, and he's got the gold extended energy mag.
All three back up now.
Rock don't have this reset. Right here, they lost out on the Valkyrie earlier on. Now they lose out on the Rampart. It was only up to the Bangalore.
Which sniper is good in this game?
Difference of having a
so when these beautiful drops happen, you need to go pick that Kraber.
Or a team like Rock that had the Valkyrie, Rampart, as well as the Bangalore. They don't have the opportunity for those same types of resets. Now VP take to the skies, and it's on to the next one. As they move back, they're chasing after their food as they see the rats. And they've called in the exterminators, but they have to be careful because they scanned another team in the vicinity, and it is Liquid Alienware who saw them fly in, so they know that Liquid has been caught out.
Okay, Vex, enjoy, have a nice day.
By the way. I mean, if you ever listened into the Zero comms, you'll know what he's going to be saying right now. Why on earth is someone still around Pylon? We know where the ring is going. Get a move on, guys. So, VP, they do, in fact, finish off Vaxlon and the rest of Rock Esports. So, sure, it got delayed for them. I believe they may have got the scan in the meantime. So, now they can make their way up to the zone, which is pulling, looks like north of Cascade Falls. Now, look, we know they can come in late and still make it work. They did it last game. Is there another dub in their future from Storm Point?
Let's find out with Team Falcons. Not a great game number 2, but still 17 points. Their progress in game number 1. They have the Trident ready to go before backing away here, and it's Waltzy being on that crypto. You highlighted that earlier. How flexible Waltzy is as a player before moving around with the Trident.
Oh, we're in the zone.
Having a look at this
we're in the next zone.
Nice. Look at this. It goes north. I was about to say, no one's expecting this. I'm not sure if Fnatic and, maybe FaZe or S8 are actually reading this, but certainly no one's sitting in the buildings in Wall. No one's expecting it to pull that far and playing for an easy walk-in from the north side. Any Valkyrie team still in the lobby could have an excellent way to make this next move. And hey, GG are doing it, coming up from north of Wall now.
That's why the teams who have the circle information have already posted up on the outskirts of Command Center. Look where Shopify just came from. Stormcaster has that ring console. They've already moved up through Command Center. Fnatic, who lands in Cascade Falls, rotated to prio that ring console too. So they saw where they were going, and now they're in the mouth of Command Center, up on the high ground, already posted up. Katsia though, Price is just trying to back away. The EMP now over to the south side. While Falcons are within the vicinity, looking to get the survey beacon over by checkpoint, they probably hear this fight going down, and it is Unlimit versus Alkkitagb, while Alkkitagb is trying to stop Unlimit from rotating into that next zone.
Yeah, we didn't check in with Alkkitagb at the start of this game to see if they did get caught off guard. I mean, obviously there was no, I don't think there was any kills in the kill feed, so perhaps they even changed up the way that they were looting those connected POIs. Either way, it may have slowed down their rotation because obviously they do have relative priority to this zone. However, they do not. Sorry, they did get a ring console over at North Pad, so they should have known this. It's just been a slow mover here for Alkkitagb. Now we said they got 16 points in the first 2 games. That's close, but maybe not enough. They really need to push themselves up. Got to redline it. We need 6th gear from you guys if you need to get that 50 points and make the top 20.
It's the fact that S8UL from Mill were able to get ahead of them and hold that choke, right? Like, even with a Trident, I mean, Alkkitagb, the fact that they land here in this north outpost, they had the opportunity to do something very similar, but it was about taking those fights that costed them that extra time. Now looking at where that zone is pulling, S8UL, they called that amazingly, but they have to still look to their south and hopefully cover their backs if Alkkitagb want to commit to that rotate. Then you take a look at teams like Genji, who have no contention on the northeast side of this zone.
Plenty of loot. We saw a power amp on Asia there. That means those drills are coming out, what is it, like 25% faster, as if this guy wasn't scary enough already? All right, Liquid Alienware. They'll pop the survey beacon. 31 enemies scanned. They have information on half the lobby. In fact, well, we've had actually 12 players eliminated. It's been a fairly bloodthirsty start of the game here. So in fact, it's 2/3 of the lobby that is remaining that they have the information on here. From there, they need to make their way up north past the ski lift to potentially Fire Strays and TSM, who are holding the southern side of Command Center. I think the other way, going through the spiders, through Cascade Falls, probably too deadly. I think there's going to be too many teams sitting in the buildings there who can snipe them out on the way.
And little to no cover, right? You're playing up the low ground, expecting teams to already have slight height advantage here too. TSM trying to stop Fire Strays on this rotate, and it still comes to question to see how many ultras are in the lobby to try to get more aggressive, so that way you have a backup plan to retreat to. There's also the Evo Harvester that's right next to TSM. They're trying to deny that away from Fire Strays if they desperately need it, and now they're going to be able to get even more information to see who's within the vicinity for the teams that are also rocking crypto.
Yeah, I do wonder if teams like Unlimited, I mean, looking at their minimap, it doesn't look like they've got this next ring information, but you know, they were probably hoping for it to be a pull down towards Cascade Falls. It is anything but that. It goes on Gen G's head. Your number 2 team in the lobby right now, 5 points behind VP, but with 30 in the bag, they are looking to push that even further. It was, I'm not going to say a bad, but like a below par day for Gen G yesterday, and they are looking to push this and get a good seed going into winners bracket and see, you know, maybe even a better performance than they had at EWC, which is what, like a 5th?
Yeah, that's why Gen G's been on everyone's minds. When will it be Gen G's time? Always getting so close to it. Love seeing their support from their fans. They're giving them all the energy, but panic! What's going on here? S8UL moved up and he said, "What did you say, New Blood? Where?" As Panic gets taken out and dirty TSM. Getting taken apart when they were trying to hold the mouth of Command Center. They even had the retreating option of the altar portal, as TSM were one of the teams with the altar, but they lost it on the altar player. They're looking at Shopify Rebellion, who's holding the edge of the zone closer to Command Center, but not even Shopify could get out of this safely, because meeting them on the outskirts of Command Center through those bunker doors is still Fnatic.
My mistake was actually 4th in the mid-season playoffs, but here we go. We're going to have a Falcons listen in right now.
I killed him with barrel. Okay, make sure we don't get married. We gotta make sure we don't get married. That's all we gotta do right now.
Yeah, I need to get drone in the spot here.
I have an ultimate cell. I'm dropping it. Pop ultimate cells. Pop ultimate cells. We need to have ultimates in the next fight.
Luto.
You grab it. Alright, you pop that.
Any more?
Is there anyone behind us?
I don't think so.
I have no idea.
The pop boost here.
I'm gonna grab that.
Waiting shot from the choke. I'm coming across to you. I'm not gonna have EMP. I don't have any more ultimate cells.
Okay. There's a team playing alright.
Kraber aa rahi, Kraber. Guys, drop me Kraber aa rahi.
Play.
Yeah, they're holding
that guy in the corner. I'm sorry, this corner. I'm batting. I don't have Bengal.
Guys, Kraber गिर रहे ऊपर से.
Okay, we just need you gotta join the EMP for us.
I don't have EMP. I said that.
They're Bengal.
Yeah, no.
Just smoke for 7 seconds.
Save on me.
Yeah, healing on you.
Just take that.
सारे नेड खा लेंगे सब एक ही कॉर्नर में डालेंगे पूरी टीम एक साथ
insanely cursed, bad fucking luck.
How disheveled with a sigh before moving back on his
सब
chair.
एक ही झाड़ पकड़ के बैठे हैं सारे
Take
नेड
them out in a difficult rotate from the south side of zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think we didn't hear a crash out there because, frankly, there wasn't a lot they could do. Nades raining in. It was basically an unplayable entry and rotation there for the Falcons. Sometimes things just go that way in the BR. 13 squads left. Now we also see Unlimited getting picked off. Most teams have actually had to shuffle up through the north of Cascades. Liquid had to go that way. They were held out by Fnatic, TSM, Shopify Rebellion. Now they're finally getting into it with Fire Strays as both teams ended up going left.
Don't get too comfortable with the Sheilas and Ramparts, by the way, because Rampart will be banned for the next game, as we have more Ramparts in this lobby than any other Legends. Fire Strays backing away. Enemy trying to call in the portal, wanting to reset. They don't like their position. They got burned a good amount for Fire Strays. find a different position to go into this next zone, because I know TSM is still within the vicinity, and so is Liquid Alienware closer to the Prowler Den.
Yeah, somehow after you know, being in such a close position, there's so many teams around them that you would have thought maybe would force them into each other. I guess there's the big rock to the left of the Spiders that is actually providing just enough cover for them to stay right now. It looks like Liquid Alienware is actually moving in towards Fnatic though. Here we go, Live H trying to duck around here, but no amount of movement is going to save you.
Oh my god, TSM's a roach here. By the way, Fnatic though, Colonel Garcia, it's up to him. Oh no, the jump, the horror movie. Fnatic can't keep them away as Liquid get thirded. It's finally the green button for Shopify to take advantage of the opportunity.
Oh, but they disappear. A void passage, the one that allows them to take out Fnatic, is maybe an exit. No, Liquid Alienware go down.
The two rats that are TSM are in two opposite sides of the southern side of this lobby. You had Gent playing like a bird in the trees, and then there's still that one member of TSM coming in from behind Shopify. They hear him, they're looking behind them, but it's just a matter of time before he's the next one to go out.
Albraleli desperately trying to set up amped cover in the middle here. They are in the zone, but they've got TSM Fire Stray, Sorale, and Shopify Rebellion coming for them right now. Shopify Rebellion, only 8 points. They can use the KB here. Coinful, he's on top of them, but they can't win out.
Shopify get eliminated. Fire Strays now. Cersei goes down. He was one shot originally. They're looking for the reset. They gotta build these walls. Gent, who's staying alive in the tree. It's looking to clutch. Oh no, one shot. He can't get the KP that TSM needed, but Shopify get the respawn originally before finally getting collapsed on originally there from the original fight.
Well, you know who's been in the building for a very, very long time. They were originally occupying that position, Vicky, is Gen G. They are looking over the entire lobby right now. Got Virtus Pro a little bit below them.
Nah, bro,
and then FaZe Clan is just finishing off S8UL right now. I think one of the members may have managed to get across the wall. Just a solo rat right now. And then we've got Fire Strays and Sorale playing near each other. Looks like they're in bunkered up positions. Wall-to-wall neighbors down on the south side. Now this is, again, just Gen G's game. We saw them win that game at Cascades yesterday, Vicky, where, you know, Asia was just every single place that you could think of to hide. He had a drill on you. He was using Maggie to its fullest abilities, and as we've said, with the power ramp here, he is going to be throwing those drills out on repeat to make you uncomfortable, to waste your resources, to push you out of good spots.
It's hard to not be a Gen G fan when they're rocking out on a comp like this and making it work with the Mad Maggie, the Crypto, the Bangalore. Charlie Null is going to be able to try to hide out from down below here, as well as Fire, as they're trying to reset. FaZe moving up though. FaZe, the silent but deadly killers in this lobby as they move up. You take a look at their composition, one of the few teams rocking the Watson, and there's too many Cryptos to be a little comfortable here with those fences.
Gen G with a bit of a focus, I believe that's on Virtus Pro, who should still have position inside the wall. Fire Strays, they lose out. Now we've got FaZe Clan looking to take Legacy, who's just trying to dance around any cover that he can find. It was a futile effort in the end.
So we got good enough points this game. That's good.
We're dropping down.
ऐसे ही नहीं मरे हम. Respawn हो सकता है कि नहीं? It depends if he has like the respawn beacon and he'll have to like get their banners and whatnot. If he has all of that, then it's melee respawn.
Gives him all the ammo. It's going to be a swap up in terms of weapons before Nax tries to climb up, see if he can take a different angle, because a Valkyrie is looking at them.
Yeah, well, no Valkyrie on FaZe's side, importantly, right? They're doing the ulti, so
but yeah, we came fourth with like
there. I think Virtus Pro surely are playing for a late game style dive, so Gen G just needs to keep on top of everyone below them.
But if Gen G takes too long with this fight, this is just going to allow VP to evac tower all the edge for free. Asia, he fights two. They got to finish this fight, because VP is on the prowl. FaZe tries to survive. With the ultra TP though, they may be able to reset, and now VP have height.
They slam Vicky with the missile swarm. Virtus Pro come in empty. He gets one with that utility, but can they get the rest? I don't think so. Gen G take out Virtus Pro, and now it is two members of FaZe Clan who have just jumped up the evac against the three of Genji.
Dexter is just him. They stopped the evac push with a Gibby Bubble opportunity in their face. And now it's FaZe down to a duo. But can the Kraber make it sing?
Bruh. FaZe.
It's the headshot! Dexter's down! All of a sudden, it's a 2 versus 2. The surprise attack!
Can he get it again, though? It's up to him. He's the last one alive. He has to land these shots in this 1v2. Can they get the rest? He tries to go in, but no EMP available for him. It's just about the information to see where are they positioned behind the pillboxes.
Oh my god, Synetic. He's got the one weapon that can make crazy things happen here, but it's a 1 versus 2. He sees the silhouette, but they get the slide on him, and Genji will win 2 out of 3 games on Storm Point.
Genji's like, you can hold that. That was kind of nice, but
कौन बोला Genji safe खेल रही है डॉक्टर? 6 साल से फाइट चल रही है, पूरे गेम Genji ने फाइट ही की है.
Lightning Rod is so favored, by the way. We love to see 2 Northern Topals. Even better when Genji is looking beyond the horizon, uncontested on top of the hill.
And you know what? You're up there at Lightning Rod. It just feels like you're sliding downhill, doesn't it? It's just easy. It's easier on the legs. It's easier on the M&K.
30-point game, no, no, 22, 12 points of first game, 12 points and 10 KP,
22 wins all natural.
हाँ, United सिखाना उसको कैसे करते हैं.
Show them what you got, Genji. They know what's at stake here, Genome. They know where they have to sit in the top 20 to feel comfy, and with 2 dubs on Storm Point.
No, I think I need to like take a walk or something. Because if I like immediately get out of bed and come sit here, I will definitely be sleepy. But if I get up and go take a walk, do some yoga and meditate for 20 minutes and reflect upon my goals for the day, then I will be awake.
How, you know, Falcons had lost some of their points with the
बड़े खुश लग रहे हो.
of Zero leaving the team. And that has enabled Genji's
भाई बेचारा रेडल के तो 50,000 सपोर्टर देखे होंगे मैंने अब तक की लॉबी में, लेकिन रेडल का एक फाइट नहीं देगा. Oh, we got 4 kills and 5 placement points. We got 9 points this
you'll see them
game.
get Oasis, right? So it's another first pick for them. Genji, 22 points in that game. I mean, we saw them set it up from the longest time. Zone pulled directly to them. They were just reeling it in like it was a fishing line.
देखा जैसे हॉट डॉग माफिया का कोई केपी नहीं, 2 प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट, लेकिन मैन ऑफ कल्चर वाले जो 2 जन थे उन लोग 3 केपी निकाल लिए, तो दे स्टिल अ पॉइंट अबव हॉट डॉग माफिया. You get it?
That's crazy. Like
even with 2v3 they are winning because they are going for KP. Hot Dog Mafia is playing good. They have such good players, but like वो kill points नहीं निकाल पा रहे, तो उनके placement points पे ही उनको 2 placement point, 1-2 placement point लेके जा रहे हैं, but no KPs. So they are still below man of culture.
And they elevate themselves to 11th in the overall standings of all teams with that performance alone.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of others we can mention there. Soul.
हाँ, अभी zone के बाहर जाके fight नहीं ले रहे, लेकिन fight ले रहे.
I think with 17 points already, that means they're basically through. They've done enough already, and now they are trying to push that further and further, go up the rankings and get a good seed going into winners bracket.
ठंडी चल रही है ना, इन लोग इतने में कैसे survive कर रहे हैं? Where are the jackets? Where are the winter wear?
These last 3 games have been crazy. I need to hear from the desk right now because we're about to shimmy our way over to Olympus, and the competition's gonna get even hotter.
I love it. Thanks, Vicky and Gino. Great job on the cast there. Welcome back to the desk.
Yeah, stream like her, guys.
Joined by Snipe Down, Graceful, and Jayhawk to break down what was
अपने
a
सारे boys बाहर
scintillating
गए क्या?
start
आपने
here
तीनों तो
from
ऑस्ट्रेलिया
our
के हैं
first
ना?
matchup of the day. We saw Genji lead the way with 52 points, gentlemen. That is not just a performance. That's a dominant one. And I'm looking at you, Snipe, but I feel like I have to go to Grace because he's the one in the back in the green room talking about how impressed he is.
Who's
with
this
what Genji's
baddie
doing.
on my
And also maybe
screen?
how they're
Oh
getting a
my
little
god,
I would
it's
say, with some of the
me.
plays.
Incredibly
Yes.
fortunate. That first game could have been a 1-2 point game. Instead, they get 21, all because they got saved from that first game specifically. And then, but the most important part when we're looking at it as well is that they're able to close games out. 2 of the games they closed out. The third one, they could have almost even here. As we can see here, Genji came from the river side, swinging up top after, waiting for this 3P essentially to get that full-on wipe as the other teams were forced to fight. But when you have this opportunity to pinch teams, they're able to close it out. And when you run Maggie specifically with Crypto, so smooth.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I take away from this Gen G is that to start the tournament, they won the very
वो
first match
caster
of the
को
tournament
बैडी
and
बोल
dropped
रहा
7
था
points
तो
the
मैं कर
remainder
रही हूँ
of
ना
the 5
casting
games. Now they win the very first game of this round, keep the momentum rolling. They must have learned something from their past to not just play passive or whatever it was, and then winning another game to
ginger
cement
honey
themselves. I mean, they
paste
were one of the bottom 10 teams heading into
सुबह
this. They
खाने
needed
का गले में
massive
प्रॉब्लम हो
days.
तो
This has to do
full
wonders for their
support
confidence and just wonders for that team in general.
And I love the point you brought up, making adjustments. That was kind of the
ginger honey
storyline of
drink
day
tea
one,
पीने
coming
का
in with a
ऐसा
strong
जब सर्दी हो
start,
full
finishing with 30 or
same
27 points on the
baggy
day. But another team who we have to highlight here, you get their win in game 2, and they're in the matchup in the final circle for game 3. It's Virtus Pro.
Absolutely. I'm not surprised at all that Virtus Pro has figured it out. MT, I mean, when you look at the guy's resume, he has maybe more top 10s than anybody. Now, he's never been able to get that win, but he is consistently in finals. He's consistently performing. So them struggling a little bit yesterday, they weren't bad, but they weren't necessarily great. It's not surprising that they went back to the drawing board. They said, okay, what have we done wrong? How can we adjust? And now he's getting them every single endgame.
I think the thing, too, about it is he's a little bit of what Phony was a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
Getting kicked away from that S8UL Koifel roster.
Excuse me,
just didn't
doctor.
really
What do you
work out with
mean?
MT.
बड़ी
He's got
स्क्रीन पे
something to
मतलब
prove
क्या
as
होता
well.
है? मैं भी तो हूँ
Absolutely
बड़ी
he
स्क्रीन
does.
पे
I mean,
कास्टिंग कर रही
coming to
हूँ.
this
क्या बात
roster,
कर
this
रही
was
हूँ?
one that I don't think a lot of people expected to be that great because
Here I
of the
am,
situation where he
8th
was removed from his
position
former team.
pay.
And Virtus Pro, I mean, they were always like a relevant team, but never truly a contender to win it all. And so I think all three of those players are hungry.
Rock Esports, FaZe Clan, Alkkita line out our top 5 alongside Genji and Virtus Pro, who we've been mentioning. And right beneath them is Team Falcons alongside Unlimit, S8UL, Fnatic, and S8UL. I want to go back to Falcons, though, Snipe. We led the storylines of today with them. How do you feel they performed thus far? Right after we take a look at this graphic here with just the 2 top performers, MT, Slayer, and Lou on Virtus Pro, and Dexter, Ziki, and Asia for Genji. Just phenomenal. But compare all 3 of these teams, really, and where you think Falcons might be lacking versus these teams who are really dominating.
Yeah, I mean, for us, Falcons kind of went into this knowing that they were already going to be qualified going into the next day. So I think for them, I think it's just a consistency thing. It's them trying to find their footing. Maybe Storm Point's not their strong. I mean, they dominated on it yesterday. Yeah, they dominated on Storm Point yesterday. So now we're going to see what it's like going into Olympus, which is going to be very exciting for them. It's going to be our real first time seeing it on the main stage. So, like I said, going into this, we have another new map. We had E-District last year. We have Olympus now. So it's going to be very interesting to see for the first time on the main stage who are the best teams on this map, because this could be the deciding factor going into the final.
Now, there were changes for Olympus, but the reason this is interesting for those maybe coming in having not seen Apex Legends for a long time is because this map was notoriously one that pro players went against. They said it's not ready. We don't want to play this map. After some of the iterations earlier on this year, we've got a chance to finally see it in action. In fact, we have some specifics of where these teams will be dropping, and I want to lean this conversation out towards Graceful and Jayhawk to kind of talk about, from the perspective of a pro, now approaching this new challenge, how do you feel Olympus is, Grace, I'll start with you, ready for pro play, but also, what are the new challenges like E-District, like Storm Point, which are distinct to each map that Olympus is going to present to them?
I mean, I feel like they've done so much to the map.
Cat fight, शायद तुमको बिल्ली बुलाया इसने.
There was not really a lot of
पहले कुत्ता बुलाया था.
obstacles in between areas, like the overhead areas were just, you were crushed immediately. We see Scout played a lot now, Peter, and also Triple Take, to the degree that if you were even crossing anywhere and you didn't run Jibby, which is why Jibby also became so strong in that.
Good question, doctor. ये सवाल का जवाब मैं तुमको कुछ business days में बताऊंगी.
With the remake of it,
Alpha
there's so many boxes, so many small nooks and crooks and crannies, small buildings that you can hide behind, and you can actually relocate position to position.
हम जा रहे हैं power grid में because we are powerful team.
More areas to play overall in general.
Yeah, I mean, it was an
कितने matches हो गए? 3 हो गए.
अभी
3 बाकी है.
You can see some of the updates here, Jayhawk, but getting it pro ready took some work. It finally has been accepted here into our ALGS circuit.
9:45 AM चालू करके 12 तक खत्म भी हो जाएगा.
I think this is going to be a very chaotic map, obviously, with some of the bans, a lot of the more stabilizing characters like a Caustic or a Newcastle, they're off the board, and so now, you know, a team like Genji who's running Mad Maggie, they could be going crazy on Storm Point. Well, the defensive characters are gone, so they could do even more so. There's a lot more open lines of sight here, so I think the Scout is going to be a very oppressive weapon on this map. And I do also want to point out that the most overpowered POI on this map, Summers University, unfortunately, Men of Culture are duo. They have that POI, so maybe they're set up for greatness, but right next to them is Unlimit at Icarus. I am very worried
gardens,
that Unlimit is going
like
to
the
sprint at them
gardens too.
immediately and say, you know what, forget about the Icarus loot. Let's go
Or
get
the
the
scary
Summers
area where you can
University
fall
loot
off the map.
instead.
No, I don't like
We
this
could
one.
be getting some fireworks
This
really
is nice,
early
the
in these
boxing
games.
ring.
I
You get
love
some
this
good loot in
conversation,
here.
especially with the fact that Unlimit is one of our hometown
This is
teams.
nice.
We highlighted it was Fnatic and Unlimit. I think both teams have played well. Unlimit and Fnatic in the top 10
हाँ
right
क्या
now.
कल 45
Could
minutes late चल रहा था
Olympus
पहले
be the
बताता
thing
ना
to push them up into greatness? A win
क्यों
in
लेकिन
this group
ऐसे?
would certainly secure winners finals, but not only that, it would do wonders for their confidence heading into tomorrow's elimination bracket day. For those who want to watch all of the action, however, your own options expand when you check out Face It Watch. That's right, multi-view in a whole new level. You get a chance to see every rotation from your favorite teams. Keep track of Fnatic and Unlimit's journey, trying to rise to the top of APAC North with the home crowd behind them. Or pay attention to Team Liquid Alienware. How do they bounce back? What's Gen G saying? Catch every 1v1, every rotation, and watch the ALGS your way. Check out faceit.com/watch. All right, also, if you want to keep tabs with everything that we're doing on Play Apex, make sure to lock in and connect with all of our socials. We're everywhere now. We've got Play Apex Esports on X, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok, and twitch.tv/PlayApex for here. All right, let's get some predictions, guys. You know, I've been going for Unlimited. I've liked some of their end games. I feel like they still have a chance here. I like the home crowd vibe. Snipe, who do you think is going to come out on top, King of Olympus, for the first time?
Not Alliance.
Not Alliance. That was a little, mistake.
Yeah, hilarious enough. Still picking. No, I do think Falcons is going to bounce back here. I really do expect them to go up the leaderboards.
Okay.
Honestly, I really want to see Liquid. They're still in that bottom 10 right now of this bracket, and they need to step it up big time. I do want to see them just for the storylines itself. I don't want to see them have to go through the elimination bracket.
Right.
I want to see some pickup here going into these final few rounds. Otherwise, I am going to be nervous for them.
You know, and sometimes the elimination bracket, it does revive you.
Yes,
you know, it does put you in that trial by fire, and you come out stronger. Grace, who do you have for Olympus coming up?
Yeah, I think I'll go with my gut feeling of Falcons for sure.
Falcons,
because,
okay.
I think that it's not to the point where Stormpoint is kind of the way where a lot of people play the same way. When we saw the macro on the minimap specifically, everybody had the same macro, which is why the same teams ran into each other over and over. I think this one people haven't figured out to the same degree. No way they have. So it's the debut.
Yeah.
So now I think that Falcons, however, I remember competing against Hal on this map when he had Fuel Depot and everything. He knows the macro. I would like to believe better than most teams, and I think he can use that to his advantage.
bracket में
Always
से ही
hard to
जाएगा
doubt
guys.
Imperial
इसका
Hal.
stress नहीं
Jay,
है. We
last
will
one
go
for
from
you.
a
Who do you think's
bracket
got
only.
Olympus after 3?
Listen, I agree with Falcons, but I feel it could be boring if we all go with Falcons. So they're going to do good, but I brought up Unlimit there. I really do think that that loot advantage for them, having Icarus, if they go after Men of Culture, getting Summers University and Elysium,
हाँ, आज भी तो
I mean,
3
that
बार
means you
already
have
matches
3
pause हो चुके
chances
हैं.
at ring consoles, multiple survey beacons, multiple tridents, every gun
जीजू
arsenal,
कहाँ
and all
है?
the loot you
थोड़ा
want
सा
to aim.
rewind करो
If they
screen.
get that in a chaotic map and they're a team that thrives in chaos, I think Unlimit could drop a big set.
All the resources,
चलो
all
देखो
the
पीछे सब
macro
headphone
there,
headphone पहन के
maybe,
ready हो रहे हैं.
just
Let's
setting them
go.
up to do what they do best.
Let's go,
win
my
those
favorite map.
3v3
Woo!
fights. All right, we've got our predictions here.
Let's
What
go
do
to
you think
Grove
in the chat?
Gardens.
The debut of Olympus at the Year 5 ALGS
We're
Championship
landing in
is
Power Grid.
underway as we kick it to
I like
our
the gardens, 'cause
casters who
nature
are
and
ready to
pretty.
bring home some fun and exciting action for the very first time. We've got
somebody's
Spider
excited.
Tiff and, of course, Dia.
Guys, thank you so much. It's been crazy to think about the fact that we have Olympus here in competitive ALGS. And of course, why not make it live here in Sapporo, right? So let's just rip off the Band-Aid, get into the chaos, Dia, because I don't even know what to expect.
This is some of my favorite stuff in all the video games that I've played ever. It is all about how you solve a problem, a new problem, and for our professional players, that problem is Olympus today. It's the first time that it is being played, not just on the world stage, but certainly within this tournament. They haven't had the chance to play Olympus just yet, outside of the scrims that I know they've been practicing, but as any professional on that stage will tell you,
Chalo, let's go.
scrims have played out totally differently than what we have seen over the last now 2 days.
Well, that's very like what we were to expect. Coming in, it's so hard to bank what we've seen over the past few weeks, even months in scrims. But as we look at the map rotation, this is kind of the story that we're getting as we move into Olympus. Gen G taking home 2 nice wins, sets them up for perfection. But not only that, we've got Caustic, we've got Newcastle,
Power
we
Grid,
have
let's
Rampart
go.
fans. If scrims are to be told, Bangalore is the next legend that usually goes out.
And I want to really hammer this home here. We're going into Olympus with Newcastle and Rampart both banned. No sorts of mobile cover, which on Olympus is arguably the thing you need most. I love that you bring up Bangalore because the smoke is arguably the most cover you can get out of a legend right now, and even that will likely not last us all 3 games. We do have a lot to focus on, especially as we go to different areas of Olympus that do tend to play out really differently. So as we get our first taste and competitive of these different sections of Olympus, we'll get to experience exactly how that looks when you put the best players in the world on a completely new map.
Hey Shishi, good morning. Did I wake up now? No, bro. I woke up at 9:30 a.m.
Heavy hitting. I love that they highlighted Men of Culture there, but we do have the estimated top 20 points, right? We are all fighting out in the group stage to
Alliance
get that better
group stage
seeding.
standings
90 points. It's pretty low, Dia. A lot of teams are still looking to make their mark at that score line. A couple heavy hitters, they were situated about 30-35 points outside that margin, and I'm like, that's a good series. That's a normal series.
Yeah.
So you should, in theory, be able to do it. But when you turn around, you look at the score lines and things, you know, just aren't working for some of our teams here. So turn it around.
So yeah, some of our squads certainly haven't been able to make it click, whatever it may be for them this tournament. Not everybody's going to find that at the right time. Some teams may not find it at all, but that's what we test here when we get the best players in the world. And Tiff, it's time for Olympus.
It's so beautiful. I remember the first time that I dropped into Olympus years ago. It was so colorful. Hydroponics was actually one of my favorite drop spots when it came
Very
through.
nice place to do
Falcons
this one.
have actually locked that one in. It's going to be a great starting point for them. You have a ton of areas to loot. You've got the whole entire underground, and then you can really move out quickly, and it mirrors kind of how they played on Stormpoint from Cenote Cave. Unfortunately, they didn't get Lightning Rod. They had a ton of zones that pulled up to the north, which quite frankly probably was bad for them. But this is where
उसके बेसिस पे ना तुम अपना ड्रॉप लोकेशन चूज करते हो तो अभी इसके बाद ना अपर ब्रैकेट लो ब्रैकेट हो गया 2020 टीम्स तो उनमें से टॉप 10 और ये ऐसा होगा
Team that we'll be keeping our eyes on to begin. They dominated Stormpoint. Can they do the same starting from Oasis here?
I mean, look, Oasis is juiced. I gotta say, there's a lot of loot there in the bottom of high caliber.
रिश तुमको मेरी स्ट्रीम्स देखनी चाहिए जब एपेक्स फर्स्ट लॉन्च हुआ था तब से मैं फुल ग्राइंड की थी एपेक्स अपने चैनल पे तुम तक सीख गए थे अगर मेरी स्ट्रीम देखते हो
You know, we saw moments of brilliance out of them in day number 1 from the groups. We thought, hey, you called them a group stage team. You're like, they are going to pop off here. Sure, it's slowly tapered, but this is the Gen G we were expecting.
Love this map.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I love this
hopefully
map.
They maintain this form.
Absolutely. Like this is the exact style that you need to be playing as Gen G. This is your strength, and especially last game, we really saw that strength play out. The fact that they were able to take such a fantastic
हाँ ऋषि ये
building
जो
on Stormpoint
हाई क्यूटीज यू कैन यूज दिस स्ट्रीम एज अ
console
रेफरेंस है ना
at
इसका
all
कमेंट
was
सेक्शन भी देख सकते हो फॉर एनी
absolutely wild
टाइम
and
स्टैम्प
completely threw
स्पेसिफिक
that game
नॉलेज इफ
in
यू
their
वांट
favor. It will be a
सब
little
है
bit of a different run for them this time as our very
सब जो तुमको जानना है
first
एपेक्स के बारे
Olympus
में
zone is going to be pulling us up towards
सब है
a
वो
rift.
लिंक में
Well, I've got some bad news for you. Fnatic up in Rift.
TSM आ रही है
don't
गाइस
have a
अपने
ring
ऊपर
console.
रोटेट करके
And that is not what you want. Anytime you have an influx
Guys,
of
TSM
so
आ गई
many
अपने ऊपर
teams trying to carve
अपने
their
एक बंदे
path
के ऊपर
into
गए उन
Rift,
लोग
you're going to see a lot of congestion, especially over towards the garden area.
दिखाओ जरा
Rebellion, Liquid Alienware, who have grow towers.
Sharky,
and
Sharky को
S8UL,
बचाओ
TSM, they're already getting into it. I hear the rest in the back corner. Sharky's down. Jesco in Legacy. Where do you go from here? Do you try to recover? Do you take that fight onto Jet? Panic's already low.
This is a 2v2. Legacy could do this. White shields, though, doesn't mean that he's got to play that much more carefully. And
wait, why is he
backing
purple
off
already?
does have Jesco on the high ground with him.
We need to
Jesco
leave and
Legacy.
revive him.
I mean, this duo has been together for longer than some people's competitive Apex careers, and they know when it's time to cut and run.
I was gonna say, like, you know, that's not hard to do. We've got some teams that take a lot of roster changes pretty quickly, but I do think that it's smart for them to run. The issue is you can't go down a player into Rift. You're already there.
S8UL, TSM, and now Reignite all have the right idea, especially in Rift zones. Playing the wall between Power Grid and Rift, especially as you move up further north, gives you a lot of longevity, can likely get you into a top 10, certainly top 5 maybe situation. But the further north you go, specifically on the line between Power Grid and Rift itself, the safer you are. I like where Rock are at, and I'm liking where Seriale are out.
these buildings are so critical to have. I prefer kind of the one that reignites it. However, when people do tend to rotate into this, it is the one that they're going to go for first. So Rock's brilliant. But I do think that when I'm looking at this map, POV, we're going to wait for that pop to come through. I don't think Bangalore's leaving us.
No, it's entirely possible. I kind of want to count right now, and I also I'm not looking at everything else.
Don't do math on broadcast.
Men of Culture walking up on Unlimited. We did talk about that fight perhaps going down. It was Jayhawk that pointed that out on the desk, and Unlimited rocketing towards Anchorus right now, so we're likely going to see that clash soon. Outside of that, Fnatic seem pretty solid up in Rift, and FaZe Clan Riddle could be an interesting fight.
The best
part is if you have all these teams so quickly rotating to Rift, you make that mental call. वो वाला रिस्पॉन बीकन कैंप कर रहे हैं कि हम उधर आएंगे ढूंढ रहे हैं हमको देखो क्रिप्टो का ड्रोन वोन घूम रहा है सब ये कहाँ लोग कहाँ आए नहीं अब तक They're a duo. Aveki missed his flight by what, 5 minutes yesterday? Someone's got a voodoo doll of that kid, and he just wants to play Apex. Okay, so he'll be here tomorrow for the bracket stages, and his team is just trying to hold on. Yulari, man, that's a key player here for Unlimit. Takes a significant amount of damage, and they're kind of doing a diversion here, dropping down 3 of these.
अच्छा तेरे को ही गाली दे रहे तो फिर
take, but distracting Men of Culture will keep them alive, hopefully, because they have been so difficult to fight against.
Honestly, even the fact that Unlimited haven't been able to do this
is wild.
S8UL so unluckily went through Stabilizer to try and find a respawn and ultimately run into Gen G.
अच्छा खासा Stabilizer में कोई भी नहीं था हम लोग respawn कर रहे थे मर ही गए हम.
Western side of the map.
That's sad.
Okay, well, I don't
चलो
know.
फिर नैप लेती हूँ एक गेम अपनी टीम ऑलरेडी आउट हो गई तो पूरा गेम बाकी
Especially when
है.
you're able to take that high ground, you control this and you keep them out here into that. There we go. Nice little knock. My question is, where did Floating go? Was he able to disappear? No, not going to get out. Peace had his name and took it. Men of Culture.
निकालूं?
Team out.
Yeah, the fact that we now have 2 teams out and Men of Culture were once again not the first team to fall. And the duo continues to impress, but we'll have to see what they do next game. Gen G were the ones to draw first blood.
Reverse psychology हो रही है
strike, and now we'll see what they're able to do as their next move does have to be into Power Grid. It can take as long as they like. They've still got about a ring and a half to do it.
Well, if you missed that first strike, let's go ahead and run it back. There is a nice replay of the first team exiting Olympus. Your first time in and it's Gen G rolling up on a trident play. Cowboys down, vision impaired, and S8UL gets deleted.
Through the Valk ult as well. Plus Valk ult and Trident beats it all. That was our Red Bull first strike, and a look back at it was wonderful context to have for a Gen G that, as we said, dominated Stormpoint, seems to be taking that very same energy onto Olympus. They are very far from everyone else, though, and the real focus does have to be on the teams in Rift, because as much as Olympus has a lot of space around it, a lot of open space, little cover, Power Grid, that's not true of. There's so many spaces to sit in buildings in Power Grid that getting through there for Gen G actually
call कर देगा. कौन call करेगा?
Yeah, but honestly, they've got the Ash pick. No one else is running that, so you pop the ultimate and you just kind of cover a lot of ground quickly. That's kind of how they've been fighting, just really using these off-meta, off-lobby picks and just taking it to the end. It's kind of like the Aurora of old. I'm talking like 3 years ago when we first saw Mad Maggie in comp. Things got wild.
It was, I mean, any team that can run at people and run at them successfully is definitely a team to be afraid of. And group stage is often when we find those squads, but it is very few of them that actually make it into our match point finals. So keep your eyes on those squads for now, and then they'll be really tested during the elimination phase. 5 Fears are one of the squads that, as we talked about, have chosen to bunker up in Power Grid. This building, honestly, not fantastic for them. It likely has them leaving around the mid game unless they get very lucky with some fights, because when you're not so far north in Power Grid, you've got too many teams to go through to make it a sure thing.
You're not wrong. I'm looking kind of at the economy that the players have. I saw 5 frags on 1. Flow has 3. But the difficulty surrounding this is you have Riddle ordered towards your north, but enough about that. You said Rock. You're like, I love this building for them. Sauce is down. It can be difficult to defend, especially when you don't have the Rampart amped covers to throw down. Backs was a moment where he had to defend the team trying to escape just a couple maps prior. What is he going to do here on the crypto? Get the drone up, get that information. But
guys, जैसे आज छुट्टी किस को है?
Waiting to make this happen.
Exxon almost got double swung there, but it is a nice reset from Rock. It's difficult to defend these buildings.
पिछले 2 दिन छुट्टी थी ना मकर संक्रांति और वो वोटिंग और आज छुट्टी दे देनी चाहिए थी मतलब अगर 2 दिन छुट्टी थी तो सैटरडे संडे के बीच में क्यों खराब करना किसी का
Dexter and Zicky through the door, the fire, the flames. He grabs a knock on to Johnner and still gets traded out. The chaos, the start they go. Cupid Esports, get out of here, Zicky. We need a reset, but not gonna get it here.
Falcons पूरी गाड़ी में आए हैं.
Pull up and send Gen G packing.
A little bit of taste of their own medicine for Gen G as the Trident roll up really does end them quickly. Cupid though, getting a big turnaround on there through the Bangalore ult does at least leave Gen G with 6 KP as they exit this lobby. No, 5 KP since there was a duo.
Chalo.
A lot of kills. Looking for more, but they'll have to get it in the next match. For now, back to more Trident gameplay as we cruise through Fight Night, which is so lovely to see here on the main stage. And guys, we're going to keep on moving forward. This is where you see all of those teams, but I think we're getting thrown up, we're getting blown up, and we're just trying to survive, okay?
Falcons are dealing with the same problem that Gen G were earlier, where yes, you may have won this skirmish.
आज किस बात की कि 2 दिन थी और अभी नेक्स्ट 2 दिन है तो बीच का 1 दिन क्यों करना फिर वो भी छुट्टी दे दो ना ऐसा.
That's the unfortunate reality for these squads, but it's great that we look up north here again. Remember TSM who fought S8UL earlier? Well, that fight has resulted in them having the northernmost buildings. Maybe difficult to win a game from here, but placing top 3 and having the chance to win, absolutely tenable from TSM's spot that gets even better.
Oh, this pull, oh my gosh, my heart.
I mean, this is TSM's dream scenario, and it all of a sudden makes that early 50-50 against S8UL so worth it.
Well, if I'm Alkkita and I'm in 5th place overall in the series thus far, I am just ecstatic. For Seriali, of course, they're going to have to guard through the entire lobby at this point, with 16 total teams trying to fight into such a small space. 5 Fears and Fnatic, they're going to say, we're hitting the road first.
Fnatic have a difficult spot. They can actually play this while it's difficult for the TSM to unseat them. But Fnatic choose not to play the western side of the wall and instead commit hard into Power Grid. I don't know if they had a read on whether this building was empty or not, but Valkyrie certainly helped them out there, and they're lucky to have rotated so quickly as to avoid a real crowding of Power Grid that would have denied them that position. Now, Fnatic have placed themselves directly in front of Falcons. And, I mean, there's going to be a fight here in at least the next 40 seconds.
Yeah, so start thinking about what that opening is going to look like for you. Imperial, how they're connecting a couple of those triple takes allows them a moment to walk up. You've got the bang smokes for cover thanks to Guild over there. But the fact that we've gotten this in an EMP2 invest, the armor disparity is in favor of Falcons, and Yuka goes down. The stairway fight is the nastiest thing I've seen, but as that goes through, you have to thank Waltzy there for staying healthy as Fnatic falls. Waltzy actually leads the team in kills thus far on this series for the Falcons.
I mean, amazing play out of Waltzy and Hal, and great portal out of Hal. Right off the EMP, it was one Ultra Q to take them directly into the building. They finished the fight so fast, the Falcons don't even really get pushed or punished for this in any way, and don't have to worry about the third party coming in from Alkkita, their next door neighbors.
I was curious where that loot was getting slurped off to, and I think Alkkita is getting the altar moving and trying to be like, yeah, we'll take some of that. Thank you so much for doing the work over there. Hot Dog Mafia, not the best start for them here in this series, and that's okay. It's always room for improvement. You've made it over to Rift. Everyone has kind of decided we've left already. So when you've got fire strays down there on the low ground, how do you tackle that? I've got to hear the comms.
We need to just play to kill this team under us.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Give me an ult off. Let me get my TP back. I'll put a new one down, and then and then I'm gonna jump off and angle them from the wide right. I don't think that they're altar.
No, it's Watson.
Skittle Cakes कितना cute नाम है ना? Skittle Cakes.
Watson crypto, but I haven't seen their altar. Putting my TP here. Putting my TP here, and I'm jumping off wide.
I'm dead. Watson just died. Watson just died. One died. One died. They're fighting.
Setup tour. ये पहले तुम्हारा क्या नाम है? ये क्या नाम है भाई? Hello. ये क्या नाम है? अभी सर मैं पहले नाम देखूँगी फिर मैसेज पढ़ूँगी. ये क्या नाम है भाई? Let's go, Gabriella.
Alright, TP back.
Rezzing.
We cannot let this team reset.
Yeah, I know.
Albert Lely.
You need to queue down and
They're
wipe
right
them.
here.
You need to just queue down and wipe them.
He's playing double knockdown here.
Jump, bro.
Okay.
They're gonna die. They should just die. Don't die on your
On the
back.
right. Just care.
Breaking that.
Gear up, gear
I'm
up,
done,
gear
I'm
up,
done.
gear up,
Get the
gear up,
kills,
gear
get the
up.
kills.
Give us Q. Take Q. Take Q. Yeah. Go keep it.
There's a guy up here.
Rock have the right idea, and fortunately they have a backup plan. But moving on up to the high ground, Shopify Rebellion know exactly where they have gone and are coming up to punish this. FYR Strays have gone down in the meantime, as have Rock during the course of that listening. Shopify are not able to punish on the high ground, but the problem still remains the same problem that Hot Dog Mafia were dealing with just now. How do you get through this rotation with TSM just ahead of you? Hot Dog Mafia, no chance, no choice. They're gonna fall.
Well, as round
Setup
4
tour मैंने बनाया
continues
था
to
पिछले
close,
साल
a lot
2025
more are
के
going
Jan
to join
first
them.
को ही
You
मैंने
see
अपना
T-Law
setup tour
having
upload
difficulty
किया
because
था.
VP's reaping the south side of this lobby. They're the ones that took down Rock, and they have actually set Liquid Alienware in their sights. Hot Dog Mafia, hopefully Skittle survives, but now we've got a new challenger emerging. It's Unlimit. They said, TSM, you've been the ruler of the North for too long on Olympus. We want some of that. But tucking themselves down on the low ground, we need some critical sky nades.
Yeah, Valculting onto this low ground actually could be the thing that saves Unlimit's game, but they do need enough teams in the area. Currently, you have TSM and Alkkitagb both keeping each other honest. TSM can't commit to Unlimit, and that is the very thing that Unlimit want. The unfortunate part of this is that the next ring does mean that Unlimit have very little space to play on the low ground, and TSM are still in a fantastic position.
But they're in the north, and this is great for them. We saw so many teams just fall. Seriali is actually going to be the team that has survived the longest.
They play on controllers, keyboard, mouse. Some on keyboard, mouse, some on controllers. Everybody gets to choose whatever they want.
Down and, well, let's go ahead. Had a little brief there on the melee and maybe alter Void Passage throughout. Can we survive Zane?
Apex Legends is a horror game. Apex Legends is a horror game. FaZe Clan are gone. 5 years, take them out.
Yeah, that's not what I was expecting to happen, but that's okay. Down to 8 teams left. Someone's got a Kraber. It's going to be Tida from Riddle, and they're just ahead of 5 Fears.
All of the fights are happening
Falcons
together.
suffering a loss as well. You do wonder whether Riddle end up pushing that. Alter still available means that these early pushes can just really rip. I say it early. We're basically at the end of the game. We are coming up on the last couple of zones. Riddle still have the chance to deal some serious damage. 9 bullets left in this Kraber for Tida.
Oh, we're going the distance with this. This is going to carry us through the end game because that is essentially the wall that is separating the Rift side from the Power Grid side is disgusting to contend with, but a Gibby bubble to open things up. Get into this building. Void Passage to the roof. The hipfire doesn't connect, but we got the double Mozams for a clutch moment. Back on down to hit a moment of retrieval, but it's this goose egg chase, and Walsey will be found. Move on down. Melstera and Tida trying to unseat the Falcons, and goodbye NA.
Well, Falcons go out. Riddle, they don't win this fight, and unfortunately, it is mutually assured destruction for these squads. 5 Fears are going to collect the kills, likely being that last squad, as unlikely as we said it was, left. Nice shot out of Tida. Can't finish the kill though. The Bangalore smoke providing important cover.
It really is, but now we've just got the knockdown shield. Only a few more seconds until we're forced to move into the firing squad of 5 Fears. The nade, the
nah, bro. That was not.
We're not
what?
getting through this. 5 Fears, the only team to survive from the west, straight into Alkkitagb. No kills on the board. No kills on the board. They need these.
And they get aggressive on
bro.
it too. Alkkitagb really want to finish this fight, but remember, TSM are right next door to them. EMP going to be thrown out. And Shopify Rebellion, who are playing from so far away, now have the only spot on this. Never mind, it's 5 Fears.
Huh?
Oh, we've got kills. We've got points. Let's keep it moving, Shopify. We need a good game out of this. And Koifel, Zainu working to perfection alongside the leadership of Zap here.
Everybody wants Shopify Rebellion spot.
What's Unlimit gonna do here? We gotta get to the high ground. Do we have ult?
They actually should have Valcult. I don't think they want to use it. But
no, but he's going up. He's setting the information. We're climbing. We're working. Little mountain goats.
I really would not hate Valculting rather than trying to fight TSM, but if you get a knock, Shopify Rebellion end up helping with that, and that is huge, opening things up for Unlimit.
Oh my gosh. We're just kind of peeking through. The Void Passage, we grab another panic. I'm panicking.
Great patience from Exuvi as well. Ularamans Maggie Ball should finish off TSM in here. There has been a small reset. Maggie Drill going to do a lot of damage, though. Subi taking the other side again, and TSM, who have long reigned in the north, will go down. Unlimit reset inside this building. We've got Alkkitagb, we've got Shopify Rebellion, and remember, with Alter still in this game, this wall basically doesn't exist to these two squads.
No, it really doesn't, but we're going to pretend it does for now. As we turn to Shopify Rebellion, they're going to likely swing onto Alkkitagb. Thank God for the G7 scout for the mid-range, and pricey. I see the Craver, we get it. This is what it looks like to be absolutely juiced on loot and unlimit full send.
Why would you play training?
They get evicted.
Apex is not that hard, guys. You just think it is because you're joining after all of the legends and everything, and like so many updates are out, so you think like there's too much happening, but there's actually not. If you want, you can exclamation if United rolling dal. Shopify Rebellion 1 वो भाई पहली बार एक टीम को इतना एक्साइटेड देखा है आज पिछले 4 मैप में ये फर्स्ट टीम है जो इतनी एक्साइटेड हुई है जीतने के बाद. Yes. बाकी सब तो एकदम yeah bro yeah good job yeah let's go next. Yeah. This team. Woo! Energy. So, Merciless, you can look at my video about Apex Legends, where you will find literally every single thing you need to know about Apex Legends, and then you'll see that it's actually pretty simple.
This is not a win they casually walked into. I really got to applaud Shopify Rebellion, especially because we took the early listen-in with Hot Dog Mafia, as they were
पूरे स्टेडियम में yellow riddle के सारे fans हैं riddle एक
little options. Once TSM started contributing, though, Shopify Rebellion took that inch and they expanded it into a mile, helping take out Hot Dog Mafia, and then slowly, systematically
Merciless की help करो. चल Friday, help him.
Look at that. 12 KP, 12 placement points, a 24-point game. That was much needed. Honestly, solid performance out of Alkkitagb Esports and Unlimit there with, I think, is a stellar game, 12 and 14 points. And you look at the rest of the lobby, right? We have 9, 8, 6 Riddle Order Falcons. That could have been a nice game for them as they were looking to work up the western side of things. It's just that pull towards TSM, it's tough, right? Because TSM finds themselves 4th overall with 6 points, but they only got 1 KP there. That's a costly. Anytime the zone comes to you, you've got to find opportunities to get kills, and they just couldn't do it.
I think it's a fantastic spot physically that they were in, but you can see how Shopify Rebellion, who did not have that blessing, had to work through a lot in order to get here, and that came with kills. So when you are in a bit of a safer spot, like you say, taking those extensions, taking up a lot of space, not letting Alkkitagb coexist with you as an example, can really be the difference between a Shopify Rebellion-like win and where TSM ultimately sat, which is not bad, still 6 points, but could have been a whole lot better given their position.
They were trying. We constantly saw on the map they were moving, looking for opportunities. It didn't come through. That's okay. 2 more on Olympus to make that happen. But the series results as they stand, Gen.G Esports banking off the 2 wins, 57 points. Alkkitagb is still remaining top 5. Shopify Rebellion, after a 24-point game, leaps up the leaderboard, and Unlimit. A lot of us talent team did protect them as a team to watch before this gameplay for ALGS Year 5 champs even started. And yeah, you know Don feeling good. Don feeling good about that. He's like, yeah, buddy, we did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic feeling for Shopify Rebellion, especially because they were one of the wonky teams yesterday. Onset and Gascon were talking about this at the very end of the day, and it was an important thing to note that when we have an underperformance like this from Shopify Rebellion, the question doesn't become, like, what do we expect from this team? We're expecting the same thing. It's just about whether they can get there or not. That's the new challenge that they've set for themselves, and it is nice to see them achieving it, especially on Olympus, where so many variables come into play, especially around how teams are going to deal with the new map. We really see the Shopify Rebellion, they've got one standard strategy locked down, and if it didn't work for them yesterday, it is working today.
Plus the volatile map Olympus is, so it's just going to keep on moving, and I can't be more excited. Alkkitagb, they're falling a team. Falcons, kind of crazy, guys, but we still have 2 more maps on Olympus. Let's get into it after this break.
Galleria, the official PC partner of the ALGS Year 5 Championship.
Inside the room is snow. 球 Yeah 羽羽ばたかせて世界中横断でかいことになってきちまったようだミスタービーンじゃなくてマスターヨーダーえらくよく回ってくれてるトラ絶対遠く切ってよかったね俺がレンなってお待たせ初めから知って止まらんねいけてるやつらごっちゃ混ぜ立ちなれましがた街に去って今日は俺たちなら基地で道の猛作パタヤでも忙しその後父さん俺にとってはオズワルドの父さん今打ち上げる花火と関東南風が襲いかかるぜ関東オズワルド住んでるにラランド俺たちのビーフピースタンド
Razer, the official chair partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Swing left, swing left, swing right. Yeah, right. Watch your team. One HP in the bang, one HP in the bang. They're gonna get through, they're gonna get through. Wait for it, guys, wait.
I need team 4.
Come back. No, you guys need P4. Back. As soon as you get it, use it, okay? Just throw it out, don't go and drop.
I'm getting drone. Ready?
Yeah. Do it now.
Get through.
Look at them.
Put the left.
Go.
Welcome back, Legends, to Day 2 of the Year 5 Apex Legends Global Series Championship, live from Sapporo, Japan. And my God, must I say, it's beautiful out there on the streets. I don't know about you, Dia, but I've been walking around every day. I've stumbled. I think my 7-month-old just went to the aquarium today.
Oh, amazing. I haven't gotten a chance to go to the aquarium yet, although I am planning to go after the event. Sapporo has so many wonderful things to offer. Of course, among them, the Apex Legends World Championship. But we've had a lot of support from the city. We've been very fortunate in the last year, and we will be next year to continue our partnership with the city of Sapporo in bringing some fantastic Apex Legends to this wonderful city and this wonderful country of Japan. But I got the chance to talk to some of the representatives that came out from the city of Sapporo to the event today about what they're doing outside of just the Apex Legends World Championship and in supporting local game development and passion. And it was really wonderful. I didn't know that they ran this, but they've got a whole game camp set up here. It's called the Sapporo Game Camp, where they partner with local universities, local high schools, in order to provide training on how to design, create games, so that one day you might not just play in the next Apex Legends World Championship, you might end up helping develop the next Apex Legends World Championship. And it's really wonderful that we're seeing that span not just from hosting the event, but across the entire city, helping support their youth to get onto this stage.
Who would have thought? I absolutely love that. Now, my age here is going to date me, but this would have never happened like 10 years ago. And to see how much gaming has grown and become wildly accepted, it's very widespread. And you've got all of these teams that, you know, their ages are variety, like a 16 to some north of 30, and it's just so cool. You got so many fans out here, the growth of the families, all to witness greatness, the potential to hoist that trophy on Sunday and cement your dynasty in Sapporo.
We're getting that much closer with every match. We talked about the 90-point cutoff that is coming up at us, and even though it is the second day of group stages, I think we really should emphasize this is functionally a much shorter day. Yesterday, we had 2 matches on main stage, and we had 2 matches on B stream. Today, we've just got 2 matches. We're playing the last third of the group stage today, and so while you said 90 points doesn't seem that far away from some teams, it's because for all the teams on stage right now, this is the last group stage match that they're going to play in the entire tournament.
Ooh, that's scary. I don't like thinking about that, because then that means we're that much closer to the bracket stages, that much closer to sending some of these players home who have spent the last year of their life putting everything into this. You know how many times we talk to players and they talk about the mental fortitude that it requires, the hours of scrims, the hours in the gym. I'm looking at Sykes right here. Dude's been grinding in the gym, working on not only that, because once you have your mental and your physical fitness in check, usually that translates into game because you feel good, you play good.
Yeah, it genuinely translates really well. I mean, talk about things that you wouldn't have seen a couple of years ago. You wouldn't have seen people correlating in-game performance with fitness outside the game. But it's really been helpful for a lot of these players, and you notice that as players continue to improve, as they continue to reach higher heights on the world stage. Yeah, they start getting into the gym. And hey, if you do end up going home tomorrow, maybe go to the aquarium.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not you.
I was like, wow.
Not you.
Wow, bro. I just got banned from the caster booth. Evicting me out of here. Doesn't like what I'm doing anymore. You know what? Where's Graceful? Where's Graceful? I hear he's available.
Lock in tip. We got game 2 of Olympus coming up. I need you.
Okay, we got this. I did see that the Legend ban was actually going to be Alter. So you think about the historical scrims performance, like usually who's going to be banned. It was typically Bangalore. Alter usually goes out after game 6, which really wouldn't matter for this 6-game series. So seeing Alter come through here, no more of those Void Passage building plays. So you're going to feel slightly safer in some of your homes, but this is very dependent on where we're going. A power grid, that's going to be really important for Alter. But let's say we go over to the east. We go back onto that Grow Towers-esque ending, similar to where Liquid Alienware starts. You got Gardens, that Shopify Rebellion. A lot of those squads run into each other early on, but that's only if we stay maybe in that vicinity.
Yeah, the value of Alter was really evident in the last game, especially with us talking about how the wall between Power Grid and Rift basically became a formality. We saw Alkaxis make their push off that. We saw Falcons make their push with Alter into Power Grid as well. The other legend that, of course, was super impactful last game was Valkyrie, completely changing the game, and that, at the very least, is going to stay with us. So the truth that you can rapidly relocate in a mid-game scenario that does not favor you, still going to be arguably the most important tool for these teams coming into Game 5.
Well, as we start with Shopify, wait, Men of Culture, we're not starting with Shopify, we're going back to the Men of Culture, who are the Men of Violence, floating on Horizon, and you've got Sparrow in the mix. The niche picks not gonna start here. Yalari Man said, bro, get out of here. We don't even want to see you nearby us. You know, I almost said something. After watching so many hours of Wig scrims, we gotta lock it in, baby. Unlimit sent Men of Culture packing. Not gonna give them another first strike. Instead, they take one for their own.
Yeah, this was a nice way for Unlimit to change the game. We talked about, rather, as I said, Jayhawk talked about the chance that Unlimit would just go for these kills, and quite rightly so did they do that in our second game. You get that much more aggressive early when the 3v2 is much more apparent. Once you let people pick up attachments and things like that, suddenly a 2v3 becomes very feasible, especially for a roster like Men of Culture, and a partial roster at that. Our next zone, however, going to be a little bit different. We are heading back to the home of Gen.G in Oasis, which will unfortunately deny them the ability to play Edge.
Yo, this is actually gonna be crazy. Alkaxis moving really quickly. They play on the buildings out behind Oasis, and they just get jumped on. They sense that. Gen.G says, we cannot let a team live back here because it can be difficult to push, right? You leave out Alter, but Crypto's still in play. We're going to have EMPs that are gonna change the tides of fights. Similarly, we saw it happen with this 5 Fears Cupid Esports environment, but that Spitfire, it just keeps going.
Havoc in hand as well. Buffa 5th could do some work.
Oh.
Being right outside here, though.
I only know Bruce Lee.
Wouldn't really take this fight to its conclusion. Cupid Esports already got what they
I said, who the hell is Bruce Lee? I only know Bruce Lee.
Now a little bit of safety for both 5 Fears and them could go a much longer way.
I don't know what that is.
Data around where the 2 remaining members of 5 Fears are, but they'll also know that Reignite is in the area, so it may be better not to push your luck.
It's tough because for Cupid Esports, they need as many points as they can get. But when you get into a desperate situation, sometimes, like you said, you can take fights that you don't need, and then other teams will say, we are pushing in on this. Falcons grab that Trident and immediately start sensing.
How do you just quit after range?
And this opens the door for Hal, who said, kills 2,000, that's the number he's seeking. It's just a number. We want the win.
Oh, it's going to go down. Do we get another knock here?
भाई इसमें रैंक की कोई जरूरत नहीं है मसलेस
They've actually taken
तुम
the
ब्रॉन्ज में भी
for
खेल सकते हो
themselves.
मैं तो अभी भी अनरैंक पे गेम में मैं पहले रैंक खेलती थी फ्लैट पीक
That really nice set him up, knock him down combination.
लेकिन बोला में भी बहुत मजा आता है कि लो शार्की ने मारा जेन टेक्सचर को बदला लेने के लिए पिछले गेम का
finding him. Gen.G and yet another engagement, this time not going nearly as well for them, and Gen.G will go down. S8UL being the ones to supplant them.
I'm okay with that push from Sharky. It's a dangerous situation to be back here in these open areas. But with Bangalore not getting banned, you've got the smokes, the ferrofluid coming down. And with Jesco, you've got Lou at the helm of this, and they have been rather tough to contend with in this series. Now, mind you, they're about 10 points shy of taking the leader from Gen.G.
I can't believe FaZe hit that nade and didn't push off of it. It's just, it's incredibly difficult. Like, the low amount of cover.
Wait, Cupid took down Reignite. Reignite was gaping even them. Falcons finish off Hot Dog Mafia, but I'm going to check on that one later.
Yeah, I'm really surprised to see Cupid and Reignite clashing. I know that Cupid saw this coming. Perhaps Reignite didn't have the necessary scouting.
Yes, Merciless. मेरा वीडियो देखो पूरा उसके कमेंट सेक्शन में टाइम स्टैम्प भी अगर तुमको स्पेसिफिक कोई वेपन अपन के बारे में जानना है तो वरना तुम पूरा ऐसे देख सकते हो स्टार्टिंग में भी मैंने एक गेम के बारे में सब एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है क्या क्या है उसमें सब भी कुछ एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है जस्ट वॉच इट वंस एंड देन इट वोंट बी सो कंफ्यूजिंग फॉर यू
Yeah,
it's a
historically,
basic
when it
battle
comes to
royale
Olympus
game
in scrims, Falcons had really strong performances on the
with
Storm Point side
abilities.
of this series. That actually didn't happen
तो
here
PUBG
when it
तुमको
came
पता
to the
होगा,
main stage. So
Valor
they're having
तुमको
to
पता
make
होगा.
up for it on the back half in Olympus. So knowing that I've seen wins come from them on Olympus,
yeah,
I was nervous for that first match, match number 4. But match number 5 could be the game changer. So pop in the drone,
agents
look for
का
the
concept तुम्हारा
information.
मतलब
We're going to
already
have to
होगा
deal
clear.
with fire strays before we can focus on the move. And as they roll up a whole buffet on a Trident, let's go Walsey, crack those shields. Here comes the Bangalore ult, and we are expending all of the ultimates for this.
At wall, once again going to be used
हाँ ना मैं
defensively,
बाथरूम
but
जाके आई
Falcons
वाली
use it
पार्टी में
offensively.
Octane is fun again. Yeah, they buffed him. No,
So many nades raining down. It's like a pocket Gibby ult in here. But with Fire Strays playing the low ground, they
पढ़ा
will
मैंने
double
Octane
swing
को
up
buffs
onto the
कर दिया
height,
है.
holding hands, as Graceful would say, and moving up onto Falcons. They've done enough damage. The mechanics are there. Fire Strays could win this fight.
Well, take me back to 2023, and Fallout once said that Enemy was the young gun prodigy, and now reunited alongside Crook. You throw them in there with Cersei, and they've got to hold tight because the Falcons are formidable. Team Liquid Alienware, we've been waiting for a power series out of them, and right now they're turtled up in the middle of a Gibby ult,
boy.
and I'm not feeling safe.
Pretty nice pylon to help them for now. Fire Strays end up getting a respawn, but it's unfortunate.
हाँ वो इसलिए रैंक में तुम कोई भी रैंक में खेलो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है तुम एंजॉय ही करोगे
The fight finish.
कुछ भी होते रहता है.
Perhaps about to win a fight as well.
That's a happy fence. That's a happy fence. Sauce down throughout. And Sykes just off the back of the 2 knockdown shields. Just a mere half a second gets it. They know if they come through this, but Baxlon says, I accept the challenge, and Sykes denies it.
How many times are we going to swing Sykes right now? Gets the shield swap,
Try
goes for the res again. He should get 0 up. Surely Rock don't come back for this.
There it is. Oh my God, we're just hanging in there. We can't let them reset. I mean, it's going to be tough to get Funk back into it when you've got so many teams looking at you. And despite that, Rock does get the resets. They're safe inside the building, but not for long. Look at where we've got to go. I'm waiting for this circle to collapse because for the majority of our teams that are inside that next circle, Dia, we are all on top of each other.
Yeah, and the outside's so sparse as well. Unlimit over at Hammond. 5 Fears and Cupid could run into each other at Terminal. 5 Fears have actually been playing pretty aggressively in this game. We remember their fight with Reignite earlier. Falcon's going to be coming from the south side as well. So the whole estate's crossing is almost certainly going to result in some engagements. I'd like to see Falcons continue to play the south side over here, not commit all the way into Oasis until they absolutely have to. But when it comes to the center, I mean, I like Rock's position, Virtus Pro, S8UL. They've all got good spots.
Ooh, there's a reset. Welcome back, Funk. So here's the deal. I hate where Team Falcons are rotating in from. You have to drop on down. You've got the zip, the open grass. It's just going to be difficult because you do have Rock Esports on that high ground, VP out in the back, and they're all going to be staring at them.
I'm really surprised Liquid Alienware got this Valk ult off to get them to the outside. I mean, it does free up a little bit of space inside of Oasis.
नहीं मेरे Apex खेलने का मन नहीं करेगा because I feel like there is still some dust on my PC. I don't like playing earlier, but when it's a dusty
gives us another question, right? With all the teams that we saw approaching from the south side, that seems to be where we're going to get the most action. Liquid Alienware now have to rotate in from the north, and that's where Fnatic are gatekeeping.
This is interesting. Do you hate fighting in these buildings as much as I do? Because now it's isolated, and Shopify Rebellion taking on TSM. A couple nades to start investing some of that brunt damage. But Shopify, they feel confident after that end game. That Cupid Esports, this is back towards the south. Unlimited on the other side, and they are just burning through and through. Yulari, man, great for getting that bat off. This is what Valk allows you to do. You can be so evasive and hard to track down, and you just keep popping from different angles. And with Peace really using the bang ult to section things off, you could almost turn this fight around, which they have.
Alarman's Maggie drills have been really clutch for the team today, applying crazy pressure, especially in their game on Storm Point over at Wall, and now bringing them into what is currently a 4th place in the lobby on Olympus. I'm going to call it 1.5 games left to go, so we'll see how far they can push this. Unlimit do have the high ground here. Not a bad spot, but unfortunately they've just got a lot of pressure on them. Cupid Esports and 5 Fears both in the area. Sometimes when you're on the high ground in the middle, you draw a little too much attention to yourself.
I have the high ground. Do not look at me, but they will, especially when you've got a couple of different people that still have frag grenades in their back pocket. Ooh, and they're hunting. They're like, oh, do you see him? He literally just popped up for a brief second, and they immediately attack him. They don't get the knock, but we're trying to line up the riot drill if we possibly can.
Not going to end up canceling that. Instead, just letting the riot drill fly loose. I will note real quickly, we saw it in the map in the upper left corner. Liquid Alienware have rolled a mythic crate, so we'll see what that looks like for them. TSM and Shopify Rebellion hate coexisting in these buildings, and Panic has something to say about it. We'll see how this drop down on the other side goes. Do Shopify Rebellion see it coming? It looks like they did, but Panic calls it off just in time.
Okay, make sure that you go in as healthy as possible. He dive on down, the chow from Zap, and we have to dive into the void to get out of there. Take too much damage on this Dupe. Oh, Dupe, the gent. We fall through that angle.
What? Too locked in.
Who just snapped that? Koi with a single alternator bullet.
It's a really difficult fight, and TSM, unfortunately, being the aggressors here, not able to enter the building, had a lot to deal with in terms of pressure from the outside, limited angles they could play, and it doesn't go well for them. Unlimit, however, unleashed onto Cupid Esports, will take their aggression from Estates and move it on over here to the nice road that they've found. A good rotation in if they want to try and challenge Shopify Rebellion, but not everybody wants to challenge Shopify Rebellion.
Not after last game, especially when they were in the final 3 with Alkkitagb. They saw what happened. Instead, they chose Alkkitagb. So we kind of keep on moving through this. Falcons, though, what have they been up to? Let's hit a quick replay with them. Yeah, we saw that. 5 Fears, they just got eviscerated. Another reset coming in. TSM, they're down in the corner. You can see Panic has already tried to rotate through. They were nearby Shopify Rebellion, who had just taken them down, causing them pain good in this story.
Yeah, we're doing pretty decent.
Doesn't even have to do anything. The ring does enough.
Unfortunately, we are late enough in the game that this ring is unforgiving. Shopify Rebellion have effectively won the fight for this side of the zone. And TSM's death is more of an eventuality than anything else. Gent's gonna go down, and TSM will fall, even as they hit an unfortunately timed respawn. 11 squads left. Liquid Alienware want to move us down to 10. Fighting up against Rock, P2020s in hand. Zero looks for the last couple of shots. We've seen a clutch from Rock before. Will they end up pulling it off once again? It looks like no, but they will at least escape with their lives. Liquid Alienware get this building and pick up a little bit of KP, but have to play very carefully. Oh my god, Zero!
Zero is looking. He's out for blood. Too bad Rock Esports has already been taken out, but he's just making sure that they are not surviving here. And congrats to your new building. And Shopify, let's get in there.
Falcons eliminated.
Yeah, I know. Come. We want to hold the spot. We want to hold the spot we can. Zap, get in Vizier. Go with Vizier and drone behind us. Go with Vizier, drone behind us.
Increase my mic sound. I can increase my IRL volume. Because my mic is full.
Left, and we're going to get Jen down there, okay?
Our guys are team here. They might wrap us.
Zap, give me B.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm loading.
One guy.
I got team northeast here.
Yeah, listen, we need to hold the team that was shooting the Falcons, okay? That's it. That's all we need to worry about.
Team, Falcon bonus.
Okay. Fine. I don't think there's anyone up there anymore. Okay, can we walk up together?
The team went in back left corner. They went
walk up together, look to get a spot.
here.
We're not in there. I mean, we have to kill them, guys. Come to me now.
I bingo.
Let me set front. Let me get close to
Okay, come here. Get a drone here. Boy's gonna bang out them, and we have to kill them. Okay, bro, get up. Try to like smoke up to that coin, bang out them from there, okay? Smoke across there. Step, gonna DMP, okay? Okay, coin bang out soon.
And with the ring at their back, they have to keep barricading forward straight into Unlimit. They were inching closer to VP. They were chasing that power position that they had, and instead now have the prior match winners at their back. Koifel down, S8UL down. We're just looking for the remaining member. And they're so healthy doing it.
Yeah,
VP's gonna come look at this.
Unlimit's defensive game is so good, and like you talk about, with VP so close, it's important that Unlimit are able to watch their angles, keep an eye on the most pressing threats, because right now it's the thing that is keeping Unlimited in the game and moving them even further up. Just taking a little bit of poke at the remaining members of now Riddle Order. Shopify Rebellion going to be in that corner as well. FaZe fall in the meantime, and there is still crazy pressure being put out by Larman.
Well, for now, Unlimit's going to live there. VP will be just ahead of them on that north. Zap does look to rat for those placement points if we can make it happen. Riddle will likely suss them out, but Fnatic, they chow the north side. They go down. Colonel Garcia, Yuka, and Libelace, they're going to have to hold on. And sometimes, when your back's against the wall, you try to stick a res. You already have the fences down, but S8UL in a 3v1 position. The standoff is real. They're just going to hop on Yuka.
If there is one thing everyone should learn from yesterday,
you don't even try and third party us. Do not try that.
This team is so good.
ये VP वाले हमारे पिछले जनजी वाले फाइट में भी इन लोग ऐसे ही देख रहे थे हमको. पीछे ही पड़ गए ये VP वाले तो. अभी भी हमारी फाइट है उसके पीछे बाजू से खड़े रह देख रहे हो लोग देख रहे हो.
Up to top 7, but now we are approaching the end game, and everyone in Oasis is going to have to exit Stage West. That was a weird way to say that. Unlimit are going to be the only team still in there. Virtus Pro can actually share space with them, and I'm really curious to see whether Unlimit and Virtus Pro choose to coexist with each other.
Who are they going to full send? Riddle's already popped an ult as well. Everyone's getting the information of what's going to be available for them. And are they dropping? Where are we heading?
You can land on Riddle.
Don't know how many brain cells we have on that, because you get the information, but there's not a lot of playable space. It's all in the open. You need the smokes, you've got the pylons, you need a lot of that.
That's S8UL in the sky right now, trying to find a landing spot. Riddle Order keeping their building safe right now. The roof all theirs. Liquid Alienware's landing did not go well. S8UL punished them immediately. And that's S8UL playing out of the center of Bonsai. Not a squad in a safe spot either.
Well, I mean, Sykes is going to be a tough little journey here. You have to destroy the fences. You've gotten the stairs. You have a team below you, a team across from you, and the ring is pushing you forward straight back to the lobby. And look at the receipt of the kill feed. S8UL joined them as well for VP and Unlimit. They've been here. They've taken their power position, and S8UL, they have the other side.
S8UL did really well there. However, they used a Catalyst ult to keep Virtus Pro and Unlimit from looking at them, meaning they don't have that key cooldown for the next few minutes. Unlimit choose to take this time to move on to Lou, weakening Virtus Pro. Do S8UL take the bait? Do they end up committing to the fight?
But you need to stay healthy here, and I love that we have the Valk in the back with the bow check. VP's down, but S8UL, they are healthy, they are poised, and they have the time to pounce on this. They're not finding a weak Unlimit. They're strengthened, and they're looking for the top of the leaderboard.
3v3 right now, and Unlimit have really prepared themselves. And unfortunately, S8UL cannot stay defensive. They need to be popping ulting cells right now. Everything is going to come down to the wall cooldown. If there's a cat wall, they might win. If not, Unlimit should have this.
Well, also, does S8UL have their bang ult?
Let's go.
That's another question.
Suppose we'll find out. No Valkyl for Unlimit. We know that. See what Xuvi's able to do. If he can open something up, that would be great. Remember, Maggie Drill is going to be really important as well, especially for denying angles, ways to swing. For right now, S8UL have this cover, but the zone is very soon going to deny them that little leisure.
still trying to hold an angle if they can.
But why
Maybe
didn't
weaken
we,
with the Riot Trail. There goes the wall. You were asking about it, and immediately the cross comes through. We start investing the G7 straight through a couple sky grenades. Wait, a couple? Bro had 8.
Ooh, 100 banger! But they can't push through the wall just yet. S8UL have the time to heal up on the other side of this. Nobody from Unlimit wants to get too close. Yulariman, the one who's going to have to open things up. Watch the ball cool down. Just making sure that S8UL don't play the low ground. They find out they're on height, and Yulariman going to swing up, but Atsuvi's already down.
He's down. We're going to have to answer on back. We use the Maggie ball. There it is, the boink. But can we pop the bat here and stay healthy through their bangle? The pop comes through. We hop onto the high ground. So much flutter, and they're holding steady, holding throughout. It's all on the back, Yulariman. There goes Jesco, and Unlimit, they take the map.
Yulariman is a monster!
My God!
Moving Unlimit to the...
Throughout, it's all on the back, Yulariman. There goes Jesco.
Yeah.
And they're holding steady, holding throughout. It's all on the back, Yulariman.
ये जो मोमेंट था ना
At the time,
कोई बात नहीं यार हमने
had the
अच्छा खासा केपी
resources,
निकाला
the
ये गेम और हम
abilities, they're
सेकंड आए इट्स अ
managing
गुड
of it.
गेम फॉर
A
अस
true
even though it's not a win
3v3
it's still a good game
for the win. And when they do it in style, man. 18
मैं
kills,
ready हो गई क्लिप आएगी भाई मैं रेडी थी
6,200
ठीक है
damage.
भाई मैं रेडी थी ओके
That
इनके
is
हम
the
जीत
kind
जाए
of
तो
Unlimit
मैं वो बार-बार सेट करने थे
everyone across the world wanted to see here in Sapporo. The kind of Unlimit that dominated APAC North in the regular
No, it was a good
season.
game, yaar.
This was a
we are
fantastic
second
way
and we
for
had
our
like a
fifth
good
game
amount of
to
KP.
come to a close. We
Don't
still have
get
another one up on
disappointed.
Olympus, but to me,
It was
this
a
has
very good
answered a
game
really important question already,
us.
and that was, are Unlimit going to be
हमने
able to
अच्छा
be
खेला है
the
और क्या
monsters
मारा है
that
भाई
they were
11 KP
regionally
11
when we come to
20
international
पॉइंट है ये
competition
गेम
of
के
this
11
caliber?
KP
And the
निकाली है हमने
answer,
अच्छा खासा मारा है ये
resoundingly
गेम
off of
बहुत
this
फाइट्स
game,
भी
is
है
yes. 30-point
We
game
did good
is
this
a
game,
fantastic
guys.
place to be.
We got 20 points.
Yes. But the fact that S8UL grab a 20 bomb across the board as well, so I'm still loving what I'm seeing. We know how close the top of the leaderboard was. I'd imagine we're seeing a switch up after a 30-point game
Good
from
game though.
Unlimit.
Yeah, that's what.
However,
Like if you would have
VP,
won,
who's
it would have been
very
like a
strong,
different
walk away with
feeling.
10.
Like wow.
Now, this kind of numbers
Twitter
at the
पे आ
top
रही थी,
leaves
my
no
God,
one else to make any
woo,
moves,
let's go.
really. Liquid Alien,
But
Rare,
like, this is
Shopify,
a pretty
Rebellion,
good-
and even
pretty
Sorale
good
there.
game, okay.
They're going to be your next highest point total.
I got unfortunately no points for everybody at the bottom.
We got nothing. We got nothing for you.
I gave too many of them away. I mean, again, incredible performance. Yulariman 9 kills in this match. Really clutched things up. We saw an incredible holdout from Liquid Alien where I really liked the fact that they were able to hold against Rock in the initial fight and then come back, take revenge on them. But there is a reason that you are seeing Yulariman show up twice, and even Peace showing up with the assists. Even
Wait, let me see.
Even an S8UL, who I would argue was academically performing at the top of their game in this round on Olympus, you can't stand toe-to-toe with the mechanics, with the prowess of Unlimit.
Did someone have Unlimit predicted for this series? Why do I feel like they did? No? No? They
I don't
should
think
have.
so. I don't think
Because I'm still at the top and I'm going to stay there if not. But regardless, Unlimit there, Rain Day did.
I didn't want to know that.
Oh my gosh, production? Okay, we see you, Rain Day. I'm coming for you on the next series. I got you. But
Guys, we are
regardless, a
6th.
great performance with that being said. And now Yulariman and
Guys, we are
Exuvi,
6th.
they're in the top 5 fraggers of
In the
our
overall
lobby.
standings
However,
of the group
Slayer
stage.
still at the top with 15, Dia.
Huh.
A true Slayer.
Yeah.
A true
Slayer's been performing. It's impressive.
Slayer doing slaying.
Do you think we get bonus points for having Unlimit both as our team to watch coming to this tournament, or do you think that doesn't matter anymore? I guess we didn't predict them today, so it's like
Beast
That's
is
true.
in
We're
6th
just
there.
chopped because did you pick Falcons?
I did pick Falcons, yeah.
Yeah, we're shills.
I
That's
picked
kind
Falcons
of
before it was
unfortunate.
cool. That's a joke.
I changed my prediction. I won't tell you what the first one was, but I changed within
और
10
ऐसा एकदम overall हम
seconds.
लोग
So,
5th है.
kind of tough, all right?
Okay, we're doing good, huh?
I'm gonna interrogate you
pretty
about it
good.
later.
Don't
but
do that. Don't
we've,
do that.
we've got more important questions to answer right now, especially with the final game of Olympus coming up. We've already seen some incredible rounds. I love that we got the Unlimit victory here. And now to see, I mean, We saw the first couple of games go Shopify's way. Now Unlimit, 2 big games. Maybe Olympus is just the map where we get the biggest wins.
Look, it's my favorite map so far. I'm having a blast casting, and I know Lace is off screen, maybe in the fan zone, also having a blast. So let's check in with her.
It's Lace here back
So we
in
have
the
one
fan zone. And speaking of
bro,
fans,
I want
I'm
some
in
of these
front
stuffed
of the
toys, yaar.
fan
Please,
art
koi jao
wall,
na SIL
where,
JS पे
you
मेरे
at
लिए
home
लेके आओ
could
ना ये
submit
वो
your
वाला
beautiful
cap.
artwork here and have it showcased to everyone. We
Come on.
have a look. There's some beautiful, beautiful crafted things behind me here.
मैंने बोला
But
था
I
ना
think
स्क्रीन के
one of
स्टार्ट में
my
आ जाएगी
favorite
तो हम लोग
ones
upper bracket से
has to be the pixel art. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of caustic, and a lot of you guys would know that as well, but it is absolutely gorgeous. So, of course, if you are here for the ALGS Sapporo, make sure you come
Guys,
down to
अगर
the fan zone and check
मैं
it
कल
out.
सोच रही थी कि मैं
Thank you
मतलब
so much, Lace. I know
ऐसा
Dia and
थोड़ा
I, we like to walk
drawing
around
being
the
ऐसा
stadium
करती हूँ
before
off
it's
stream
open
तो
to
मैं
the
सोच
public
रही
and
थी
just
कि
kind of
अगर
soak
मैं
in the
एक
ambience. And honestly, we checked
learning
out
how
that
to
area
draw
in the fan zone
करूँ
with all the
तो तुम
artwork.
लोग
We
देखोगे
pass
क्या
over
from
the
scratch
ballistic with
मतलब
the
पूरा
Ankkita
from
and go
scratch
straight to
draw
caustic.
करना सीखूँ तो तुम लोग
I
देखोगे
know,
क्या
I was
कई
surprised. I
ऑनलाइन
thought
से
she
ही
was
सीख
heading
लूँगी
in the
गूगल
correct
कुछ
direction. But,
वाइट
you
या
know,
कुछ
for
से देख
me,
के
Katie Secret's ballistic with the floaty, that is
How
some
many matches left? We
top-tier
have one
Apex
game
Legends
left now.
content.
I think
One.
we should throw it in the Louvre.
In the Louvre?
Yeah, did I say that right? Oh my god, I took like
No,
10
you did,
years of
you did.
French and I was like, did I just botch that live? Because that would totally happen to me.
You nailed it. I mean, if we go to France, I'm sure that they'd have problems with it, but for right now, it's okay.
Yeah, would you guys be
Probably, but
interested
good thing we're
in
in
watching me
Japan,
learn how to
and
draw?
Good thing we're having a great time. A couple other things over there in the fan zone. They've got the Nessie origami. There's a ton of food that we can smell from here. I know Glitter was talking about some of the street food style of things. I just need to take a ton of money over there and sit by myself and just eat.
I have to take my half-finished origami Nessie and ask somebody to teach me how to finish it, because right now I have 3 triangles and no
तेरी
idea
तो
what to do.
पर्सनल दुश्मनी है भाई फैल्कन से यूनाइटेड कुछ किया क्या उन लोग ने
We see that finish. I know the other thing that we're looking on
हाँ?
finishing is the series on Olympus.
वालों को भी तो
Our
ड्राइंग
first
बनाते
time
देखते
seeing it
excuse me
here in a competitive environment. I don't know.
Excuse
chat, those of
me?
you at home watching, I know the hours are a little
if you
crazy.
draw some agents
but I'd
and
be so
characters
curious
के
to
भी
hear
थोड़ा
your thoughts
सोचो
on what
अगर मैं
Olympus
अभी
has been
सर्कल
like. Of
बनाना
course, you've
सीख
probably
रही
seen
हूँ
it in scrims,
तो
but
वैलोरेंट
it does
एजेंट्स एंड
not
कैरेक्टर्स तो
matter.
बाद में आएगी ना
Scrims,
पहले
at the
लर्निंग
end
हाउ
of the
टू
day,
ड्रॉ
are
है
just a
लर्निंग
way
हाउ
to
टू ड्रॉ
practice some of
एजेंट्स
those
नहीं है हाउ टू
rotations
ड्रॉ
and
मतलब
see what
बेसिक से
legend
ड्राइंग तो पहले
compositions that
सीखनी
you're
पड़ेगी
feeling
ना
the
ड्राइंग
most
कैसे
comfortable
करते
when
हैं
it comes to Olympus. Now, I didn't catch which legend
बस वो
would
bird
be
poop
banned
मत
after
बनाना
batch number 5. Did you?
I'll check.
Oh yes. Dia,
those
thank you
were
so much
stones
for
they were
providing me the
rocks
information that I so
stones
desperately
and
like.
rocks थे वो bird
Ooh,
poop नहीं
okay.
था
I like this. Because how many of our pushes have been off the back of an
कविश नहीं
EMP?
हमारी
Look at
टीम का
Falcon
अभी
in
हो गया
particular.
अभी कल है
Mostly
अपर
likes to
ब्रैकेट
open
मैं
it up.
कल
He
कंटिन्यू
drives back
करूंगी
to match
वैसे
number
भी आई
4 with
थिंक सेकंड
Shopify
वाले
Rebellion.
फेसिट पे
Boy,
होने
we
वाले
got the comms of their end game
how
fight.
to draw an apple
He
से
says
starting
we
yeah
wanna
bro
take
I need to
space, we
start
pull
from
back,
scratch
but he's
how to
waiting
draw a
for
rectangle
Zap to drop the EMP straight onto their face and they immediately tear them up.
I mean, it's another cooldown that just
Urs क्या है if
becomes
you may
really
allow
important. We
Urs
talked
is
so much about
allowed
the catalyst wall in last game, but from 99% of teams in 80% of scenarios,
Falcons में हाल है मेरी दुश्मनी क्यों होंगी
it is the most important cooldown in your fight is whether you have crypto EMP or not, whether you have the ability to win a
लेकिन
fight
इंपीरियल हाल
basically
सुनती तो मेरे को तो एकदम
You know what's going to be ended in an instant is the
TSM
fact that we
ही
have a
आता है
battle at the top.
TSM में दाना वो पहले
Gen G currently situated 1 point away from Unlimit, who's in first place. Think of how massive this would be for them. They've had nice moments through the group stages, but to get here on the main stage, take that win with we know what the cutoff is.
वाह
And 90
मुद्गल
points,
वाह
you
वाह
know, give
वाह
or take,
वाह
we
वाह
think that's
वाह
kind of a
वाह
nice
वाह
number that would
Thank
be safe
you,
to grab
thank you,
yourself
thank
in
you.
the winner's bracket for
Very
our bracket
nice.
stage
एक और
tomorrow.
मैच है
And then
yes
we have Virtus
मैं एकदम
Pro.
सीरियस
Now,
ड्राइंग सीखूंगी
I'm
तुम
looking
लोग
at
भी
Slayer, I'm
करोगे
looking at Lou, and I'm looking at MT. I had a chance to work the Red Bull Legends
देखोगे
in
क्या
just, I believe, what, a month and a half ago in Chicago, back in the
कुछ नहीं
States.
रोज दिन में आधा
MT was
घंटा
there
एक घंटा बस
competing,
कमिट
and I
करूंगी
got to
थोड़ा
speak
सीखने
to
में every day
his
तो eventually
he
in like a
locks
couple of
in.
months
That
a
guy
month
is
or two I
stone
should
cold.
learn
Sometimes
right
he
how
scares
to
me. I
draw
don't know if
and
that's
then
the
I can
Australian in him,
actually draw
but that
stuff
just goes to show you he comes in
शौक
here
से
and he's honestly
तब
one
तक
of the
थोड़ा
nicest
सीखूंगी
people.
अगर किसके पास कोई
Knowing
YT
there is no room
playlist
for niceness
recommendations
when it
कुछ है
comes to this game. You
tutorial
have to be aggressive in
क्योंकि
your
मैं तो
pushes. You
20,000
have to
लेके कोई
get locked
classes
in,
join
and
नहीं
you have
करूँगी
to
मैं घर पे ही
decimate
सीखने
all
वाली
of
खुद
the
से बुक
competitors,
पेन पेंसिल
especially in the final match of your series.
Now that we have Crypto eliminated, I am noticing a lot of Seer showing up, a lot more than we had before. Another very punishing legend to go up against, especially when he's able to hit his tactical with the slow and the stun that comes in. It may not be
this is the only space I have left on the screen where there's like no map, no kill feed, no stats, no weapons, no guns, no shields, nothing. This is the only space I have.
And that snowballs pretty darn quickly. Keep your eyes out for Seer, and especially if they are running it, as I
Imperial Hal सुनती तो मेरे को तो एकदम
TSM
नहीं होता है
TSM so far. Once again, Unlimited
उसका नाम नहीं वो
ऐसा. The Men of Culture. See how this fight turns out. Although it is a 2v3, so there are limited options.
The limits do not exist to the high ground with peace. We got an Ironside R301, and I'm feeling comfy with it, especially after that massive performance.
What a poetry.
Use what you've got.
Poet बन जाती हूँ, drawing छोड़.
Okay.
कितनी अच्छी poetry, इतनी अच्छी rhyming करती हूँ मैं यार, क्या यार.
TMC are playing well. Holding hands right now.
Across the door, underneath, they took down Peace. But now with a riot drill, he's going to let it burn, force them to maneuver, and we take it to the sky because Men of Culture still rocking the horizon. We find floating. We just did the last one, but wait, whoa. This is a big deal because the top of the leaderboard is all riding on 1 point. It's riding on Delari, man, in this moment, and you would think it would be clean. What?
Not even close.
Why was that close? Yeah, not even
यार इन लोग भी कर सकते थे फाइट अच्छी फाइट थी लास्ट बंदा भी इनका बहुत लो बचाया मैंने अच्छा गुड जॉब
maybe a little bit
actually decent he must say thank you for the 100 lessons for the win yeah
that is what you get when going up against
हाँ जी last map पे guys stream black card में जितने लोग ने पिक नहीं किया हो
gonna be really terrifying when they have all 3 players.
Bro, Vijay, hello, Asu is still around, but he's... I don't watch his streams anymore, but I watch his YT videos. Asu is still killing it. उसको अभी भी देखेंगे ना ऐसे लगता है मतलब पता नहीं कोई बच्चों के गेम में छोड़ दिया उसको एकदम. He just runs around the map and he kills everybody he sees.
It's really good thing that Unlimited didn't lose that fight because then the top of the leaderboard would be gone. S8UL for the finish. Nice job.
It's VP though. They're the ones at the top of the leaderboard. They're in second with 60 points, tied with Gen G. We can't afford to lose MT here. Now, I didn't see necessarily what led to that, but I know that they're still looking for the remnants of Fortis Pro, Slayer and Lou.
कोई मेरे को भेजो ना कुछ मतलब ऐसा YT videos या कोई ऐसा link जहाँ से मैं सीख
पाऊँ. Here's the really nice thing if you are Fortis Pro, and that is that we don't have a lot of cryptos in the lobby. So most people are going to struggle a little bit more to hit a survey beacon from distance. The exception is going to be teams like TSM. Running Sparrow, you do have the ability to sort of remotely hit the survey beacons and get information on where everyone is. But even that, with the 50-50 that we're seeing between Sparrow and Seer, is going to give you a lot more breathing room as Virtus Pro, who is hoping to make their reset in Gravity Engine.
We'll also see a lot of those Valkolds come through to give them information more towards the late game. It's very similar to what we had when we had that back Oasis endgame. And it's going to be exceptionally powerful when you have the teams moving from the west, from Power Grid like TSM, that are going to be trying to get on out. But they actually don't have Valk. You're right. They have Sparrow. I do love that, though.
Yeah. Sparrow really good in endgame scenarios. And honestly, even like mid to late game.
मुद्गल जी वैलेंटाइंस के लिए बहुत टाइम है. आप और अच्छा सोच सकते हो. ये मेरा पूरा strong belief है.
Reignite, tanking what they can, but they're staying healthy through it. Now, of course, the G7 scout for the mid-range to cover on through. The Falcons, they would like to get in on this. It's Walsey that's going to be credited with some of the KP from this fight, which forces the pacing of them here.
As Reignite finish Cupid, Falcons are actually pretty safe. We know that there were 3 squads involved in this engagement. The Falcons have their backs to the edge of the map. And so they know that nobody can come up behind them. The fear of a third party is really assuaged, and they just have to hold off Reignite for the moment. The problem is that for both these squads, they do need to move significantly further east as we're going towards Summers University.
And as I look at it, of course, with the crypto ban, you think, what is Walsey going to do, right? They lock in, they've got the Gibby, and we keep on seeing all of our teams on the northern side. TSM moved, Fnatic moved, and they moved straight into Shopify.
Virtus Pro have made their recovery. We did wonder how that would go earlier. Now they are back up as a full 3-person squad down in Bonsai Plaza. Well, Fnatic still have to deal with Shopify Rebellion, who unfortunately are not making this crossing easy. Gravity Engine kind of a maze, but Fnatic are navigating it well to at least not go down. There are a couple squads in this area that we talked about. Shopify Rebellion,
stream तो अभी stream तो मैं किसी की भी नहीं देखती अभी जितने भी पहले मैं पूरा दिन लोग के Apex stream देखती थी ना मैं किसी की भी नहीं देखती पर YT पे मैं ऐसी की वीडियो देखती हूँ.
No, this is going to be really nice for them because you can kind of keep on moving. I'm sure Shopify is going to look to try and cut them off if they can, but it should be safe
नहीं
into
KP ऐसा
Pro
कुछ
Towers
नहीं
if
होता है
we can
बनौती
make that
बनौती
happen.
कुछ
For
नहीं
Fire
होता है
Strays,
ऐसा.
9 points on the series. This is a do-or-die scenario when it comes to salvaging points for this. Knowing that we need about 90 points to solidify ourselves into that winner's bracket. They've had some nice performances in other grouping matchups.
Legacy 11
But to
kills,
feel
yeah.
confident, make sure that you hit the 90. I want at least 30.
I would imagine that's their comfort zone as well. I don't know how FYR Strays are going to continue dealing with this. As already group stage has been very swingy for them. This is a roster that, I mean, when they're on, but much like Gen G, when they're on, they are going to slay every single team in the lobby. And when they can't quite get the momentum going, you see that it nets them a little bit lower on the leaderboard. Now, Hot Dog Mafia being right under them could be exactly what Fire Strays are looking for. Although, I wouldn't be too confident going up against Hot Dog Mafia if you don't get the drop on them. If you don't get a one clip, they've been a very good fighting squad.
And honestly, I saw Rambo this morning, and he said he was feeling really good. So...
Bro.
You know what Rambo has changed today? I was listening to
ASU does not need a carry.
Being really good about letting Albert Laley know exactly when he needs to look
खुद
at
भी खेला है वो सारे गेम खुद के
which is
अकाउंट से स्टार्ट टू फिनिश अगर लास्ट गेम उसके दोस्त ने अच्छा खेला इसका भी ये नहीं कि he got carried to that.
It's a small thing, but I really appreciated it when I popped into their
carry
Do you know why I think that they're doing that? I feel like Alb was talking about specifically when he has to manage not only IGLing but also like the mechanical ability of fighting, and sometimes it can be a lot. And if Rambo is doing that, hey,
his
maybe
teammates
that's
are just as good as him.
That's
why his teammates also shoot like him.
That's why everybody shoots in his games when he plays. Him and his teammates, all of them. He does not carry, and his friends also do not carry. Everyone's at the same level. Monsters, thank you for the 100 predictions for this match.
This game is
it's gonna be a fun match because I know we're gonna go through the upper bracket tomorrow, so we're already there. So I feel like we could totally just like play a little bit relaxed. I predict that we are not gonna be picking a lot of early fights. I mean, we're shooting right now, but we're not gonna be picking like unnecessary fights. We're already in the zone. We're surrounded by people. We're probably going to have a fight in the next 2 minutes in case these people push on us. Other than that, we're going to be playing safe for the end zone because we want another good game. Only so we can pick like a good spot for tomorrow. That's my prediction. Zone में है हम लोग already, लेकिन वो zone में already हमारे around में बहुत सारे लोग हैं, so we just need to like be in a position where like people don't want to push us unnecessarily to close it on our area.
Really well.
एकदम यास गर्ल वाली accent, yeah,
We have
thanks.
a moment. They're waving the white flag. They're grabbing evac tower. Get some more nades. How many times does a limit go into an endgame situation with at
क्या
least
अपने
12
पास server
nades?
stable नहीं है
This
बस
is
अब
why
बढ़िया है
Yolari
खेलो
man looking
Apex
for a couple hundred bangers if he can get them. Smokes for the
सब
cover.
बढ़िया है
And
server
now
वरवर.
you look towards VP in the back. They're going to be the third party you don't want to that engagement.
VP pretty silent about this as well. Fnatic, they already took down one of the members of Hot Dog Mafia earlier. Hot Dog Mafia sitting center zone do have the ability to recover, but Fnatic are really trying as much as they can to put out poke. Not so much so they get kills, but more so that they get evo. They're currently at blues, but when the zone is coming to you, you need the extra evo to unlock perks that ultimately will win you the end game.
Well, we talked about the importance of this series for Fire Strays. Alkkita as well. They're situated 23rd on the group stage leaderboard coming into this, and they want to get into the top 20. So a powerful performance here will give them that. For Riddle, who've still been working to maneuver their way through the north, have found TSM.
Good defensive setup for Riddle. They actually have the advantage in this fight.
Hello Josh, what's
because they're on
up?
low ground, because Riddle have the head peak and not a whole lot of other teams that can look at them. The one team that you saw firing at them from afar is 5 Fears. 5 Fears who are just outside of Humbert Labs and have rolled themselves a
Hindi
mythic
subtitles where?
right now. If that is a Kraber,
तो
things could go
English में
poorly for
पूछना
Riddle Order.
predictions
But
for this
outside of that,
match.
I actually
हिंदी
really
में
like
बोलते
Riddle
हैं।
Order's spot.
आपका क्या ख्याल है इस
a Kraber on Olympus is effectively a
Match
cheat
को
code
हिंदी
for
में क्या
the
बोलते
end
हैं?
game with how wide open things can be. Now I'm curious, does TSM decide to peek Riddle? No, the patience is there. Panic, gonna hide behind some of these
Puneted
boulders. You
करके
see that
जरा
we've
इसको कुछ
already
चाहिए।
had Dupe kind of fed some things off in the background. But one of these teams, both of them actually, have to move. Time is of the essence.
अरे timer
There's
दे
a
दिया।
couple of teams
मुझे
that are
लगा
looking
तू
to
जाएगा
make
help
a
करने
power
बेचारे
play
को।
onto this if they can.
Taking a look at the map right now, we're just going to identify some of the areas that, of course, like Riddle Order and TSM, could explode into action. Noticing S8UL will realize they are not inside the zone during the next
ना कैसे सोचते हैं ना लोग मतलब कुछ भी लिख देते हैं.
around where
See, we're not in the zone right now.
Unlimit is going to be
But
a
there
really
are a
noisy
lot of
area of the
people
map.
in
But
the
of
zone
course,
right
Reignite and Gen G almost certainly going to fight. In fact, it looks like they might be fighting
We are.
right now.
Get me into it. We'll check in with them in just a second because
Dog on
S8UL,
them,
who are basically the
That's my
gatekeepers
son.
of this area in the north. We go. It's unleashing. It's for the win for Gen G and Asia. A little power boost across the way, and he goes down. The trades come through, and Rezi still trying to take a different angle. A little right drill. He's got the high ground, and Zicky can't make it happen, and Gen G have fallen to reignite. That is going to make the top of the leaderboard look all that much better for Unlimit and VP.
And we get the res off just in time, but Rohai hasn't had time to heal up just yet, and we are moving into the solo from FaZe Clan, who actually could take somebody with him. Firing away. And actually take someone down. Reignite have 2 very weak members right now, but a shield bat will save them. Cinetic trying to get away, has already lost Nags, and is moving right, unfortunately, into S8UL. 5 Fears and FaZe will go down almost at exactly the same time, moving us to the top 15 squads. Placement points starting to be accumulated right now, and Reignite have managed to hold on to theirs, although they do still lose a member.
Look at Zero. Look at Zero as he wraps around, and Virtus Pro. We're here. We've got an angle. Let's get it on the comms.
टीम पे भी नहीं आई, उसमें पूरा ओवरऑल मैच ही देख रही हूँ. अपनी फाइट होगी तब दिखा देंगे.
Our Gen is still up. We can back out here.
Yeah, we might want to, honestly.
I'm going forward to our Gen, okay? How the people are fighting right now?
Talk about spots. I want to look this game drop.
Remember when I DC'd that one time under the staircase here?
Yes, that's what's good. That's what's good.
really good.
Flying. Falc.
They're fighting
Titan
on the right
कौन
side,
है?
bro. They're fighting in deep summers.
I'm grabbing this. Is there a team here? I'm not seeing any picking.
They might have went up to third or something. We still need to hold our back though, kinda.
Not really.
Bro, they're hard fighting deep summers.
Yeah, can we walk up? Can we walk
grab
up?
everything.
Yeah.
Is this team down here?
Team in here still. I don't know this lift. Share this
I'm
loot.
walking up here. I don't know if there's anybody in here.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't tell though.
Yeah, they're in there. Here. Come back up to us. Team in here. We have a really good
We
rap.
can Valko and land down here. This spot's really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The low ground here? Really good.
They're just fighting me in the back of
Have
the map
we
right
entered
now.
the zone yet?
Can we walk up on it?
I don't
Is there
think
a team
we
just
have.
sitting here though?
Virtus Pro have noticed it. Unlimit and Fire are fighting at exactly the same time. They do not know that it is those 2 squads, but we see them showing up in the kill feed right now. Unlimit staying on top of the fight, but just at the nick of time, Shopify Rebellion come in and take out the first place squad.
Well, now if you're VP, this is looking really nice because you're just a point shy of the top of the leaderboard, and they identified the fight. They're pacing themselves to make sure that when they move into this, they are healthy because Shopify Rebellion, they're not. They need a reset, but they don't need Team Liquid Alienware and Falcons moving straight in.
Shopify Rebellion were very close to first place in the group as well. Right outside the group of those 3 squads, Unlimit, Virtus Pro, and Gen G that dominated the top of the leaderboard. Liquid Alienware, Falcons still looking for their spot in zone where Hot Dog Mafia are currently in the center of. We still got Virtus Pro here as well, and Riddle on the roof.
Riddle on the roof is going to be difficult for these teams, especially if they're trying to rotate in. But good thing they're not. We all have to move. It's Hot Dog Mafia at the zone. It's VP who don't commit to Summers University deep will be able to poke the prod and take the KP from these teams.
Deeds going down. Bad news for Rockmelt. Stera low on the high ground as well. Riddle struggling to stabilize. Rock are going to do the wise thing and get the heck out of Dodge, but with Unlimit having fallen right now, with Gen G having fallen, Virtus Pro are just 1 point off of surpassing Unlimit.
Gotta keep tabs on them. For Rock, this is a nice series. You're situated around that 30-point mark. You're pretty much guaranteed bracket stage for the winner's bracket. So you're learning Olympus at this point for the next time that you see it against a lot of these same teams. We talked about Riddle on the roof, they drop down, they start to contend with Team Liquid Alienware, but Taida takes a brunt of that damage. Thankfully, we popped the bat. We work on the healing because Team Liquid Alienware, they still have to deal with Falcons, they still have to deal with Shopify.
Almost surely Riddle and Valkyrie right now. Unless they don't have it, that has to be the answer. It's not a great answer, it's not a fun answer, but unfortunately, sometimes you just got a Valkyrie because otherwise you know you're meeting the same fate as Rock, who have just gone down. We are in the top half of our lobby right now. Riddle have got to play things extremely carefully.
I feel like they wanted to hold on to that Gibby ult just a bit longer.
Bro, Lele with the Kariba.
8% away from Valkyrie.
This is going to be crucial timing as the zone's already starting to close. Riddle don't have the cooldown immediately available to them. They're going to have to fight somebody. They're going to have to drop down onto Shopify Rebellion. Bubble goes out to buy them a little bit of time. Valkyrie still Shopify Rebellion watch them go over, but then it is a weak Riddle on the high ground.
Oh, and it's Taida, and he jumps on over.
अपनी टीम चुपी है कि इधर सारी फाइट देख ली अपनी तो एकदम एक बार भी दिखी भाई एकदम फुल हाइड एंड सीक प्रोफेशनल सारे पीओवी देख ली ना किसी के लेफ्ट ना किसी के राइट ना किसी के नीचे ना किसी के ऊपर तो हम हैं कहाँ एक फाइट में एक गोली
Immediately third party comes in from Falcons. Even that.
Bro, what is this chaos happening here?
Falcons are down. Shopify Rebellion turn it around, and Liquid Alienware will go out as well. Top 7 squads is Virtus Pro third party. That is 1 knock. Shopify Rebellion
kill feed में
down.
बार नहीं आए हम.
Virtus Pro needed to get on top of the lobby.
बोल रहे हम guys please अच्छी फाइट लो अभी. अच्छी फाइट लो अभी जीत वो जो भी फाइट ले रहे हो जीतने का फाइट.
With a Kraber on Alb. This angle. Anyone that tries to go for that care package is going to eat a Kraber bullet.
Alkkitagb out really.
Do it.
Really.
There it is. Dupe down. Dupe down. Not out, but down.
Spooky news for Hot Dog Mafia. They've still largely got blues. Yes, Aberlale's got a Kraber. Yes, they are terrifying, but they need the additional shields and, more importantly, the additional perks for their members to really have a chance of winning this.
It's going to be difficult. It really is, especially when you have S8UL and TSM kind of coexisting with you in this space. Think of how this is going to look once this circle starts to collapse. And S8UL, they've got angles onto TSM. You can hear the nades basically tearing up the shields.
Oh no. Oh fuck no.
S8UL could look for a win here. Right next to Virtus Pro, really is going to come down to these 2 rosters who have the high ground. Fnatic and TSM, even Hot Dog Mafia are all trapped on the low ground, and S8UL going down to a combination of Hot Dog Mafia and Virtus Pro. It's going to be tough for them. TSM will fall. A nice nade from Yuka F to finish them off as S8UL get pushed out of the lobby by the Hot Dog Mafia.
There's a good chance that Fnatic convert this to a win. They hold the space. They've got a pylon down. They have a triple take to keep that pressure, but they have to deal with VP, who is also on the height.
In the last game of their group stage, in their last game on Olympus, will Fnatic convert into a win? With Virtus Pro losing Lou, they very much could. A huge break from Yuka and a takedown. Fnatic are fighting for the high ground.
Fnatic will control the end game if they've got VP down. They've almost got VP out, and Hot Dog Mafia are going to have to make a play to get up here. We're trying to work around the knockdown shit, and instead, we can see through the air, Rambo's up top.
We've still got 3 squads in this. Fnatic haven't actually finished off VP just yet. So as Hot Dog Mafia land, they've got a 2-squad fight to contend with.
Oh my god, Alb is down. Fnatic are just reaping this lobby, looking for every bit. They take what they can get. They take the win. They get that onto Olympus.
To finish
ये देखो excitement.
Stage, Fnatic
ये होता है
win their
मैच जीतने के बाद.
final game, securing themselves a
Fnatic
fantastic spot in the elimination rounds. I hope you can hear it at home because the crowd exploded As Fnatic managed to win this game, a very well-deserved game, and as we talked about, Tiff, a bit of a turnaround, especially considering that Virtus Pro was on the high ground. We saw what Yuka was able to do, opening up that fight with the R99, letting the rest of the team have some breathing room on high ground and convert into a win.
He just sits down, he's like, we did it. They were 16th overall on the group stage series, which is very much on the bubble. It's on the cusp. Let's hear you, Sapporo. Let's get those cheers out for Fnatic.
भाई क्या fans हैं देखो Fnatic के कितने सारे
really significantly in the standings for today's games as well. This group, Fnatic moved themselves all the way up to 7th off of a 25-point win.
They're situated right behind us, so we can see the fans and all of their signage and the lighting up there just ahead of us. All the pictures being taken, the support is crazy here for Fnatic, and they grabbed 25 points, like you said, Dia. It is going to shoot them up the leaderboard. It was very well needed to cement themselves into a winner's bracket run there tomorrow. But Hot Dog Mafia, they were inside that circle since the very beginning, right? To grab, what, 3 kills? A little tough, but still, I'll take 12 points all day.
Yeah, Hot Dog Mafia and S8UL, 2nd and 4th, were the real hard zone teams there, but Virtus Pro performed out of their minds. They may not have won, Fnatic outplaying them a little bit in the end, but that pushes them all the way to first place. The incredible performance they were able to have, not just in this final game, but throughout the series. 1 more kill point than placement point. Funny little stat for Virtus Pro, who have maintained things about 50-50.
That's what I love about that. So thank you so much for highlighting it. It's showing the consistency on both. Not only can you place high, but you can get the frags as well. So 73 on that. Unlimit right behind them. And as you move into the group standing, can we talk about the top 3 here? You have Unlimit at Air Force 36. Falcons kind of holding steady right there by just a few points. But I'm looking at Citadel, VP after that performance, those 70 points, you said they're going to shoot them up the leaderboard, and it definitely did.
And it looks like our magic number is going to be a little bit higher than 90, if I'm honest, because with so many teams yet to play, right now our top 20 cutoff is just 82. Points.
कुछ मैंने मिस किया है क्या 166 158 133 132 इसमें अपडेट नहीं हुआ है क्या हाँ अपडेट नहीं हुआ था 129 yeah we are 6th in the overall group stage standings we are to coming from upper bracket only we are fine we're chill guys we're in upper bracket tomorrow
right now our top 20 cutoff is just 82 with a whole nother round, a whole nother 6 games, I think we may be going into the low 90s. I don't want to say mid 90s, but at least we know that off that last game, Fnatic is safe.
Chalo.
You've never said better words to me. Okay, Dia. At one point in time, I was
इसके
waiting
बाद
for the
direct finals
Yuka
नहीं. इसके बाद अभी कल upper bracket and lower bracket है. Upper bracket के top 10 सीधा फाइनल्स एंड देन अपर ब्रैकेट के बॉटम 10 एंड लोअर ब्रैकेट के टॉप 10 इन 20 के बीच में वापस से होगा उनमें से 10 ज्वाइन करेंगे फाइनल्स में एज फार एज आई नो यस सो कल होगा अभी मैच स्केड्यूल का है क्या बात है हाँ यही है ना यही फॉर्मेट है ना ग्रुप एओसीजी के मैच थे कि नहीं आई वोंट बी वॉचिंग दोस दे आर गोना बी हैपनिंग ऑन फेसइट एनीवे तो तुम लोग वहाँ पे जाके देख सकते हो अपर ब्रैकेट के कल 11 बजे से है ठीक है डन ओके हम अपर में है ना पर सो टुमारो 11 वी हैव टू गो अपर ब्रैकेट एंड देन अपर ब्रैकेट के टॉप 10 में रहे हम तो डायरेक्टली फाइनल्स अपर ब्रैकेट के बॉटम 10 वाले विल बी कम्पीटिंग विद द लोअर ब्रैकेट के टॉप 10 वाले जिनमें से फिर 10 फाइनल्स जाएंगे बट वी कैन हैव अ नाइस अपर ब्रैकेट अच्छा आज डे 2 YT पे ही हो रहा है, फेसिट पे नहीं. वेरी नाइस. तो तुम लोग कंटिन्यू देख सकते हो यहाँ पे. मैं दूसरे इसका A वर्सेस D का नहीं देख रही, सिर्फ B वर्सेस C देखने आई थी. बट या tomorrow 11 AM be here. Okay, understood. Now go and do something like afternoon nap or lunch break or college or something, whatever you are doing, and come back tomorrow at 11 AM because we are going to be playing the upper bracket of ALGS Year 5 Championship. Okay, कोई बात नहीं डॉक्टर. Okay, see you laters, alligators. Bye, amigo. Sleep time. Good night, merciless. Bye. I just woke up. Waste, brother. मिस कर दिया पूरा मैच आपने हमारा. And shower. Shower नहीं किए हो तुम लोग. So sad. Yes, moron, but I don't think you guys will get to see me play that. I'm not sure. MCM. First 10, second 9, 10th one. Okay, upper bracket top 10 will get head start points for the finals. Oh, wow. Wow, so we need to come upper bracket top 10 for the head start points. That's crazy. मेरे जाते ही टीम नंबर 2 आ गया. ऐसा कुछ नहीं ओशन, तो पूरा दिन बैठ के मैच देख सकते हो, उससे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा. ये सब मत मानो कि तुम्हारे आने से जीतते या तुम्हारे आने से हारते हैं या तुम्हारे जाने पे ही जीतेगे, तुम हो तो नहीं जीतेगे. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तुम पूरा मैच देखो, एंजॉय करो. ओके, लेटर्स, alligators. See you. Take this care. Oh, thank you, Beast. Bye. See ya.